told me more.
All right. We will get started a little bit early. It looks like we just clicked green on Bitcoin, guys. So that's a good thing. I think Doge is on its way. Probably going to follow that route. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Hope you're having a great day and that that life is treating you well. We appreciate having you back at the Crypto Kingdom. This is London, and we will go through some technical analysis tonight. We will promise you that you will learn something. If you'll listen, I promise that you guys will learn something. If you'll just tune in, we cover pricing targets. We have a very good group. We focus, guys, we have, I think, the best group of traders around. We have a level of membership that you guys know is the VIP level. That's the top level that gives you access to all of the kind of the backdoor, the essentials in terms of the pricing targets, personal communication. But guys, it's just all of the information that you need. All of these pricing targets, just a phenomenal amount of detailed work that you can go. And we use pricing targets to get in, just to remind all of us, to get in at the right levels. We don't haphazardly. How would you say? We don't haphazardly. What would you say? How would we say that? Invest? We don't invest haphazardly. I guess that would be a good way to say it. So in terms of that, what I would like to say is that we have a very dedicated, I would say, disciplined group. The VIPs that are here, guys, they're all in the chats, and we appreciate you guys tuning in very much. We appreciate all of your loyalty. There's a lot of places you can get your information. We just believe, and it's kind of based on the results, guys. It's like daily, we're going to be right on in terms of the pricing targets. We use Fibonacci's, we use technical analysis, and we go to great lengths, and I go to great lengths to try and be a service to you guys. This is just kind of where my heart is. I have invested for a long time. I have a degree from Duke and a certification from Markets, not marketing, but markets, okay? So I definitely have a lot of experience in everything from kind of iBanking, I'd say from, hedge fund, lead analyst on a $1 billion equity fund. I've had that in my background. So it's a pleasure for me to be able to bring you guys some fundamentals of technical analysis. The screen on your left is Dogecoin, okay? The screen on your right is Bitcoin. We can kind of change these out tonight. We'll keep Doge up the whole time. We are kind of loyalists, I'll say that, to both our group and also to Dogecoin. So throughout the entirety of this, if there's a movement on Dogecoin, we'll be able to see definitely that there's something going on with the charts. We do use the Fibonacci, so that you guys know. And yeah, as part of, it's part of kind of, I'd say the membership at the top level is you guys get kind of Fibonacci charts from me. I'm very detailed about bringing those to you. I use a lot of advanced indicators as well. And yeah, we use Trading Pro. So if you guys would like to, if you're thinking about, I know a lot of you have been thinking about joining. Last night was a great night. Angel decided to go ahead and join. And yeah, he lit up the super chats with like $500. I really appreciate that. That was exciting. Andrew also followed up with another round of another 100. So it's very nice to know that you guys are doing well enough. And it's nice for me to see that because I know that you guys can hit the button. There's one thing to be able to hit the button, and I'd say hit the button and go ahead and buy something. That's, a lot of people think that's the big deal is when you buy into something. Really, the discipline, the focus, and I'd say the skill in trading, comes in when people are able to hit the button and they're able to hit the button and sell at the right time. So in dealing with Andrew so far, it's been a pleasure to deal with you, Andrew, and the VIP, because I know Andrew knows how to sell and when to sell. It's not always he's looking for 50 or 60 or 70% as we talk about pricing targets. It's not always, we want to, max out. We have to get, 80% on this one, or we have to get, a 3X or a 5X. Sure, some funds are set aside for that. $100 invested into Dogecoin would have been a 100X, would have gotten you $10,000. Okay, that's from January to, about mid-April. Okay, there was about a 100x on that. So as we look at kind of the status right now, let's review real quickly kind of where we're at. And I like the side-by-side approach right now because you can see between the picture on the left and the picture on your right. We deal with what's called correlation. Okay, what is correlated? Correlated means that two things are kind of positively expressed at the same time, meaning that as you look on the left, you'll see just kind of a run-up in price and a retracement, okay? This run-up in price and a retracement, okay, right here is going to be, essentially that is going to be mirrored. If we say that something's correlated, it's going to be mirrored in this second pricing action. This is a terminology that's used in terms of, I'd say it's used in technical analysis, guys. That just means we're looking at the price action, we're looking at the pricing behavior, and we're looking at all different kinds of tools to tell us what is going on with the pricing action. So it may seem a bit foreign, but it's complicated so that you can profit, so that you can know where your pricing targets are, so you can know where, for instance, if we were to look at Dogecoin, so we can look at exactly where we would want to enter into prices. We've been through and gone through pricing targets all day long with the VIP, so that's been nice to be able to bring those to you. But as we look at that, it's just, we can expand. Let's go down from the big picture, the big picture that we were just looking at, down into kind of the micro level. Okay, in that micro level, we're able to really review and I'd say maximize our efficiency, our pricing efficiency. That's our goal. Okay, as we look at profit requires a few different things. It requires us to sell high after we have bought lower, after we have bought low, right? Absolutely. It requires us to sell high after we've bought low. It requires us to do it in that order, okay? Unless we're dealing with options, okay? So we're not, you're not going to hear a whole lot of, information about options. That's not the purpose here, but that is a situation where you could actually buy and cover, say, later on after you have sold something. So that's not the case. That's not the situation in which we find ourselves now. So we have to buy low, we have to sell high. That's the order, unless we're involved in options. So when we deal with Fibonacci's, okay, and Fibonacci's are standard retracement tools. Retracement, what does that mean? Well, on the as we look at the at the graph on the left, okay, and you don't need to see the detail, just to generally understand, as the most recent kind of impulse in price as we move from kind of the low, and we'll always draw the Fibonacci from the low, okay, to the high, all right? To the high. We want it to max out at the high. When we do that, it's going to automatically calculate. If you pull up TradingView, we use TradingView, definitely the Pro or the Premium Edition. You'll see that on the bottom right. If you guys need to go to the Twitter, guys, that scan code on the bottom left will take you to our Twitter, just so you know, that scan code on the bottom left of the screen. And if you've just shown up, look at the heart on fire on the right. If that applies to you, hit that heart, and we'll go over what we went over in the very beginning. So appreciate having you guys. So looking at the price action, okay, the increase in price, a lot of people understand, okay, that is a Fibonacci. They don't know how to draw one. Okay, so we're very instrumental in trying to educate people and trying to, get them to be able to process this information themselves. Yes, that's important to be able to understand it, but also to be able to generate the information by themselves, because it doesn't always help. If you understand what a Fibonacci is, you understand that that's a tool for pricing targets. Well, that's great, but if you can't make one, if you can't use TradingView, it's so simple to make it, guys. It's really easy. It probably takes literally maybe 30 seconds to learn how to draw a Fibonacci. So you can learn how to draw one probably within a minute. Then you can learn how to use one. And that's the real key kind of focal point in terms of your ability to maximize your profits, guys, because you always want to buy in at the lowest price. That's the key. All right. A lot of good investments are really great investments when you buy in at the right price. If you don't buy in at the right price, even what's could be considered a great investment is not such a good investment. And this is not investment advice. I'll say it's just the truth, guys. If you know the profit equation, if you studied business, a lot of you have. If you studied economics, most of you have studied either business or economics. You understand that price is a function of profit. It's a requisite in the market. So you have to get in. You have to buy lower. You have to sell higher than where you bought. So the lower that you can buy, the better. What we do is we structure cash on the lower side. That's what we do. Let me go ahead and draw kind of I normally draw a triangle so that you guys can get an idea of this. And it's a strategy, guys. It's used by, I'll say, it's not the only strategy, but it's definitely a strategy that is used by, I'd say, some of the key players, okay? Some of the key players in the market. If we were to draw kind of a triangle over the entirety of Doge, and not to cover anything up, but if this represents the current I'd say price action here, kind of this micro, if we zoom in on this, we're zoomed in, guys. This is really kind of a key in focal point here. But this triangle would represent essentially my capital exposure within this smaller time frame. Why? Because I want more capital. I want to essentially spend more money at these lower levels, okay? This is where I want the bulk of my capital. At the top of this, I don't necessarily want a lot of investment, okay? And so this applies on the micro here within this frequency, and it applies if we were to zoom back out, just so that we know, if we were to zoom back out and really go to a larger overall, picture of the pricing, I would still want it to look kind of like this. All right, I would still want on the overall, as we look at the last several months, I would still want to have my cash geared more heavily towards the downside. Okay, why? Because if I enter with more cash at the lower levels, I'm going to have a lower cost basis. Every coin that I'm in the investment at is going to be cheaper, guys. It's going to be at a lower price. That means when it does go up in price, okay, I'm going to achieve a greater gain. Every unit increase in price is going to give me more profit than if I stack my cash at the top. And guys, that's when people wind up upside down. If you stack the cash up top heavy, towards the top side, you're investing towards the top. That's when things don't work out well. That's when I get, commentary, etc. And people are telling me, well, I bought in around, 70 cents, and now, you've got a big problem and you're upside down. So we always want to keep the cash heavyweight on the downside. That's how we use our Fibonacci's. That's what we focus in on. Is these levels, I'll say the Fibonacci levels, what are they essentially? Let's go over that real quickly just so you understand. Okay, from the initiation of the price trend, okay, from the trend up to the top, we're looking on the left-hand side here, up to the top, essentially to the top. You can go to the all-time high if you want to. You can program it. The retracement is the percentage that's given back. After the run-up in price, the retracement is the percentage that is given back, okay? So, and those are measured. They're measured as a standard of the industry, as a standard of the investment industry. Those are measured, okay? So we would look at, for instance, if we drew a Fibonacci, we're going to click on the Fibonacci, what would it be? The Fibonacci retracement. There are extensions and retracements. We would go into the pitchfork. We're going to select retracement. Then we're going to click at the bottom, essentially the initiation of the trend where it starts, and we're going to draw essentially up to the top, up to the all-time high. Let's do that. Let's pull it over so we have a little extra room. We'll click on that, and then what do we have? Well, then at the left-hand side, and these are kind of small numbers now. We can definitely increase this if we need to. Let me clean up the charts just a touch here around it. But as we do that, immediately what's automatically done is we are automatically given kind of levels of retracement, okay? And they're calculated off here to the left. Now, those levels of retracement serve as pricing targets. They serve as targets for us to enter into because why? Because the natural expression of the price is to, yes, go up and then retrace. And the standard of the industry, Okay, the standard of the industry is that there will be support at different levels of the Fibonacci's. So at each one of these levels, okay, that are pre-calculated, there will be a level of support. There will be some positive price action because people are entering, on the aggregate, people are entering at these different levels of the Fibonacci's, these different levels that are calculated. So when you say, well, I want a pricing target, what does that mean? Well, that means that you have done your Fibonacci and you've come up with a pricing target wherein you're going to enter at that is specified, pre-calculated, guys. It's automatically calculated right when you draw your Fibonacci. Okay, and this is the standard, guys. This is how the industry operates. You can do your own research. I welcome you to. Okay, but from a classical standpoint of Wall Street, they deal with Fibonacci's, they deal with pricing targets. There may be a few other ways to get crack open the same. What'd you say? A different kind of hammer. It's still a hammer. These are how you iron out your pricing targets. Okay, so and at these different levels, you can verify it because once you draw a Fibonacci, you will see the positive price action based upon your levels of support. So based upon these pre-calculated levels, for instance, you'll see at the 50% retracement, again, that's from the base or initiation of the trend to the peak of 50%. Okay, that 50% retracement would be a contact, essentially an entry price at that 50% retracement. That's 50% given back, okay, from the price. So we would look at that, then we would say, okay, that's our entry point right here. Now, what happens right there? Well, right there, you can see that, yeah, it was a nice entry point because people who entered at that point, even though the price is going down, people who entered here made money. Okay, so that's the key. And people will say, well, I don't care about that because it's not going up. You don't understand how much it does go up. Okay, so if you're experiencing negative price action, you have one of two options. From 75 cents down to 30 cents, you can ride that wave if you choose to, and if you hold diamond hand holders, go for it, okay? Other people don't want it. I've spoken with people who had their accounts. They had $100,000 or about $98,000. It went down to some $35,000. Okay, so when I speak with people like that, they say, "Hey, London, what am I supposed to do? Should I sell now?" Well, the point is, if you can calculate it correctly, and there are ways to calculate it, if you can calculate this correctly, the top is the place to sell. That's what's required of you to engage in profit, guys, to buy low, sell high. So as we look at these pricing targets, we always maintain, I personally always maintain, and it's just a strategy, I always maintain cash reserves, like heavy cash reserves available to put in at these different levels, okay, at the different levels of the Fibonacci's. Why? Because they're going to get hit. And I want to achieve a better price basis, a cost basis. I don't want to be involved fully at the top. If I am, I'm going to lose money. The whole idea of investing is to make money. So if we can pinpoint, and we can, okay, with the Fibonacci's, if we can pinpoint, okay, and we just did, the actual levels of investment, right here, for instance, is a nice entry point. It literally resulted, if you entered in there, it resulted in about a 50% gain while the price is going down. This was one of those days where, well, Doge did really well. Now, you did not have, it was like, well, it's up 50%. Huge, phenomenal day while the price is going down. Some people will get excited and say, well, I own it up here at 75 cents, and it's about to come back up to where I'm at a break-even point. The problem is, once you've started kind of this retracement, it just takes a lot to get it back up. Doge will have its day to in terms of getting itself back up and towards the dollar, et cetera. It will have that day. In the meantime, we have spent a lot of time, guys. We spent a lot of time. If we're looking at 50, 60 days, we're going to be looking at least over a month in retracement right now. That's a long time to spend just kind of waiting around and not trading. A lot of people just like to trade. They got involved in the market because they wanted to make money, So a lot of people have now found that, yes, indeed, let's go ahead and trade. Let's learn kind of the skill set. It's just a skill set. It's participation in the market. It's buying and selling. It's very simple. We can apply it to Dogecoin, okay, at the different pricing targets. We can also apply it to Bitcoin, okay? So as we're looking at like a current pricing target, I can tell you as a matter of fact, like on Dogecoin, that the, in and around, let's go ahead and state this, in and around the current price, which is about 32 cents. Let me look over here real quickly. Let me adjust my monitor real quickly. We're just at a Fibonacci level right now. Now we have two kind of sets of I'd say two sets of pricing targets. One is going to be at kind of the micro or the zoomed in. Let's just talk about that. The micro, kind of, if we get the magnifying glass out, one of the pricing targets, one of those sets of pricing targets is going to be on this zoomed in kind of focal point of the most recent price frequency here. Okay, that's the most, those are the pricing targets where we're ready to enter into now. Now, look, you just hit your golden pocket. That golden pocket's the 61.8. Okay, when I talk about making money, when I talk about the fact where you're going to hit your pricing target and then you're going to experience the whole definition of a support, guys, is that you're going to hit the pricing target and then you're going to achieve a trade. That's what we want to do. We want to deploy cash at these lower levels, right? At this the level right here, the 61.8. And then we want to see some positive price action. We want to book a positive trade. You can see exactly, guys, precisely 100%. I mean, there's zero question on this. We hit the pricing target. Okay, so the group, okay, the VIPs, etc. And guys, you know, some of you may not be VIP, but I know for a fact the VIPs, we do this every day. We hit this pricing target, you know, just absolutely like, you know, a full on scoped in, like, you know, laser guided sniper like rifle. We hit it. I don't know how to describe it any better than that. But a lot of you guys are in the military in the crowd. Welcome, you guys. You guys probably have a better description than I do, but it's about it. I mean, look at it's just exactly, you know, that's a targeted strike. That's literally our pricing entry, and that's exactly what it is. That's how you explain it. So there is no rocket science. There's no, confusion about it. There's no, real guessing game in the end. It's like either people want to do pricing targets or they don't. Some people may not have the time for it. That, I understand that. It's not always easy. Some people want to invest for a living. Okay, they want to invest full time. They love investing, right? Other people, it's kind of like a side deal. Maybe they'll get lucky on investment. They think they picked the right horse at the horse track, and then they may not have to work again. Or maybe they just want to buy a boat, or maybe they just want to hang out and have fun with the culture. I won't guess for them. But when we can hit a pricing target, and we can hit multiple pricing targets, and make multiple good trades, within a day, I mean, you have people that are booking. In our group, you have people that are booking, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, up to 5 trades a day. Like, that adds up, guys. That adds up when you start looking at, well, I don't want to work again, or I want to spend more time with my family. Well, you're going to have to put together some sort of a strategy, right? And I would recommend you, read some books, educate yourself. And we're here, the guys in the VIP and the girls in the VIP. We have some really incredible people, and I thank you guys from the subscribers to everyone else. Just we keep things kind of between ourselves, right? It's a small kind of group. We don't necessarily market and do that whole big march necessarily the way we could. So I like the fact that I can spend time with you guys. I like the fact that we can get to know each other, and it's kind of a personal basis. That's kind of how we are. And it's not like too close for comfort. I'll tell you that. It's not like, I'm sorry, I'm at the front door again. I need a sandwich. I ran out of mayonnaise. Like, it's just, it's cool. Like, we'll check in the morning in the DM chat, but it's like, cool. We're telling jokes. We're having fun. It's not like, we did talk about a beach party. So that's one thing we talked about. People started talking. We had a great day. So people were making money. Said, well, let's go to Hawaii or something. We have some shout out to Ryan in Hawaii. But yeah, it's, there's nothing annoying about any of it. I'll say that. That's the cool thing. It's just a good group. We can make a joke about how unannoying it is. So it's just cool people. So you guys are really, really nice to be around. I appreciate that very much. So yeah, Hawaii, maybe. I don't know. If you guys, then Emily brought up the idea of like a summit or something cool, like an investment, like seminar or summit. That would be nice. I'd like that. Something that we can kind of just continue to reinforce our principles and talk about. I had a good talk with Interactive Brokers today, a really top-notch shop that, I've got a interesting kind of trading background results with Interactive Brokers. So we deal, we have dealt with stocks in the past, things like that. It's not the forte right now. The price action is in, like Dogecoin has been really phenomenal. We like Dogecoin because it's kind of a smooth investment. It's kind of something that has definitely produced. It's got some major players behind it, and it's not real stressful. It is exciting. Sometimes it's a little slow, but that's okay. That gives us, an opportunity to focus on things like, maybe you want to invest also in Cardano. Cardano is very interesting. It's been a phenomenal investment this year. It's retraced. Bitcoin has been, has received some attention lately. The IMF today, the International Monetary Fund, was a little bit caustic, a little bit critical of the fact that I don't know, they were warning, it sounds like El Salvador, of the decision that they had made. So yeah, we're kind of, we stay focused on the things that require us to stay focused on. we look at kind of a correlation between, if we were to look at a correlation between Bitcoin and Dogecoin, it's a similar run up. It's not precisely the same. The time difference is definitely different. I mean, if you look at the compact nature, I'd say of Dogecoin, it's just there's a much different time frame. Much of Dogecoin's pricing here occurred within, I'd say within April essentially. Now there was a run up in January, but you see what Dogecoin accomplished in about a month, Bitcoin accomplished the entirety of the year. I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people are very into Bitcoin, or they're just, that's kind of their MO. Now, while Bitcoin was really marching up, Dogecoin made a few moves. It made a move from 0.007 up to about 7 cents, so it went about a 10x. Now, you have to give it to Bitcoin at some point throughout the year because it was a pretty slow and steady, kind of gainer. And it had started off in, last September was about, what was it? Guys, it was low. It was pretty low, and around, you went from about 10 grand on up to about 60 grand pretty quickly. So those were nice moves. And it was a double, it was a triple. People made good money. Now it is in a position where it's retracing. So I like the dynamic. I wanted to bring up like a side-by-side comparison so you guys could see. A lot of people are excited about Bitcoin, and maybe it's going back up, maybe it's doing all these things. And I'll just say, I'll tell you that, from a perspective of looking at the correlations, yes, there's kind of a layover approach on the left-hand side to the right-hand side. We see on the right-hand side is Bitcoin, left-hand side is Dogecoin. Same kind of typical run-up pattern, okay, with a little bit of retracement, give back in the price. We can say, yeah, those are about the same, but the one on the right, Bitcoin, that happened over the entirety of like the whole year, right? This with Dogecoin has happened within March, April, May, right? So it sounds like April and May. So that's really nice. That's the kind of those are the kind of moves we want to be a part of. So I still feel very positively about being involved in Dogecoin. Given the perspective that we look at, well, now Bitcoin's going to, Bitcoin has a big day for 10% or whatnot. Still VIPs, et cetera, we were talking about before that happened. It's like maybe be a good play. And sure enough, it started to rifle up. To the extent that Bitcoin decides to do well, all I can say is just check out the last month of price action, right? It's been phenomenally indicative of the fact Dogecoin has really had something going on. So as the culture would kind of demand, it's like some people just want to have some Bitcoin. I've got a few Bitcoin. It's just maybe that's the right kind of story to say at the party or whatever. That's okay. I understand that. It becomes more attractive when it is more expensive. It's that type of a luxury item almost, that the more it is valued at, people kind of want to esteem it. Like, yeah, I've got, I went ahead and bought, 10 Bitcoin. And that's a big deal for people to say because it's a statement. It's almost like driving your Mercedes or driving, I've got, it's a 3-bedroom house. We have an elevator in the back. Well, oh, okay. Well, that's a big deal. You got a new home, then a real new home. So that dynamic in Bitcoin has lost a little bit of steam. That crowd is still looking for that. With Dogecoin, it's like it's just a different dynamic. It's not the same. I won't comment badly upon the people with Bitcoin, but it's just odd for me that we're also able to work with the technicals, the technical analytics on Dogecoin, and still feel like we're having a good time with it. So that we're still trading it, and it's still kind of an all-inclusive thing. Whereas we still can do that with Bitcoin. There's just a lot more noise, right? There's a lot more noise with Bitcoin, and it makes it more difficult sometimes to really just kind of relax and get everyone on the same page. We can do our pricing targets with Dogecoin without a problem, right? We have no problem. Once we start talking into Bitcoin, there's already been a million different opinions that have been slid around. There's been all types of I don't know, just generalized, new pattern theories from a Wyckoff to, I'm like, what's going on? Why is all this? And it's not technically as advanced as the crowd wants to be. It just doesn't seem extremely technically sound. And maybe that's part of crypto. That's part of maybe that's what they're driving to, is something a little bit non-conventional. That's okay. Currently, Dogecoin is about, 32 and 4/10 cents. That's a decent price, representing a significant retracement. Currently, Bitcoin is about 36,000. Okay, so as we look at the, let's do a little bit of comparative work, and let's just look at, to what percentage has Dogecoin retraced? Well, Dogecoin is retraced in and about to the almost to the golden pocket. It's working on its 61, so about a 60% retracement. It's working on that. If I were to go in and really do the coordinates down to zero, we would say, yeah, it's looking like it's just working on, and it has accomplished more or less down to really below that, beyond the 65th percentile, but it hasn't really stuck there on the line chart. So it's gotten down almost to, I'd say, 70%. Now it's rebounded heavily from that 70% retracement. That 70% of the price action from ground zero was given back at some point. So that's a really volatile instrument, right? That's really something that you would want to take advantage of if you could. Now, while Dogecoin has performed better in the last month or so, and that's a realistic statement in terms of the asset value that Dogecoin would present. It just has performed better within the last month, or let's say a month and a half, right? We've been a part of the entirety of the price action. That's just a calculative fact, right? That's not an opinion. That's just a calculative fact. Particularly if you're able to take advantage of the highs and lows in the market. Let's go ahead and say that. There's just been great volatility, a great run up, a 10x. That didn't happen in Bitcoin. So as a matter of fact, Doge as an asset class did, as an asset outperformed Bitcoin. People aren't, necessarily putting that in as straight of terms as maybe they should. So it's a calculable fact. I'll say that. So as we look at Bitcoin on the right, just understand that it's a completely different story. If people want it to be a different story, that's fine. There's no qualms about that. It has a different kind of reach to it, and I think we all appreciate that. That's part of the reason that we're in it. So as we look at the retracement on, Dogecoin was down in through that 78%. As we look at Bitcoin, let's just do some comparatives, because Bitcoin got down just about under its 50%. Okay, under its 50% retracement. So we saw a lot more volatility with Dogecoin. That's the pricing dynamic that the asset presents to you, okay, that the holding presents to you, is the ability, okay, to have more fluctuation. Now, if you're going to hold through that fluctuation, it could impress you on the downside. Let's say that, or shock you, I guess would maybe be a better word. That's not necessarily something you would want to occur. If you can capitalize on the volatility, though, it represents a really incredible opportunity to either, max out an investment on it, or I would say either also to trade in it, right? It's got enough volatility to make it really interesting for you to engage in trades on it. And it's got, I think it kind of has, I'd say almost a stability factor. It's just my opinion of Elon Musk. I'm not sure that is really something we would calculate in, as opposed to like a Cardano or a BNB. Those have two different kind of stability factors to them. BNB would have kind of we'll talk about the Binance Smart Chain, right? Its use in facilitating the program trades or however they're executed, or they're swapped out, or they're held. That Binance Smart Chain may add a different level, because Binance is the largest crypto exchange. So to the extent that is, a different level of kind of, I'd say, stability, or something we'd look at and say, well, Binance, BNB, they're both, BNB and Dogecoin are definitely up in the running in terms of, they're towards the top of the market cap coins. But there may be, the different stability factors, you're going to have to gauge those for on your own, in terms of whether or not Elon, and his involvement with Dogecoin is more of a stabilizing factor than something like, say, the pricing behavior of Binance. Those are big questions, right? Those are big, that's kind of like, if we were to formulate our own opinion, we would want a room full of people that could formulate an opinion on that and discuss that. And we have that. So that's a hats off to you guys. That's a nice thing to be able to know, is that you guys can formulate an opinion on that. Cardano has a very interesting, dynamic in terms of its stability, of where it's at currently. We can bring up Cardano, because I said that we would. So let's go ahead and bring up Cardano. Let me get to, let's go ahead and bring up ADA. Let's just look real quickly, and we'll keep Bitcoin up on the left, but let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano, just so we can kind of understand what's going on. Look at the incredible price action. The one thing about Cardano I want to bring to everyone's attention. Okay, everyone will learn something on this. Doge holders, everyone will learn something on this without a doubt. Please pay attention. This is huge information, guys. As you look at Cardano in and around 2018. Guys, it was at $1.36 in 2018. What's the big news? What was the big news back then? Well, from $1.36, guys, at $1.36, Cardano went down. Okay, went down. To what was the price there? It went down to a penny. It went down to 4 cents to 2 cents. Literally, it went from $1.40 or $1.44 to 2 cents or 3 cents in 2018. So people are all, very excited about the current market conditions. I'm going to say that. But in terms of having and preserving your cash on the downside, maintaining heavy reserves on the downside, I talk about things like that because guys like Cardano in 2018 went back to 2 cents. People say, well, that could never happen now. Okay, if it doesn't happen, I'll be ecstatically happy. I'll be very thrilled that it doesn't happen. But I'm not going to let history, just repeat itself on me and me not to be completely prepared for it. It's real easy for me to decide to be prepared for it. I'm going to decide, it's already been at $1.36 and Cardano's gone to 2 cents. Now, I'm not sitting here saying it's going to go to 2 cents. But if it did go from, instead of the dollar, the $1.40, I'll say the $1.40, if it went from 2.50 down to, what if it went to 10 cents? All right. The dynamic is there. I'm just going to tell you the pricing dynamic is there. You see it on your screen. Literally, it had a huge trajectory. It fell down to 2 cents. No other channel is going to sit here and at least bring up the fact that Cardano spent it almost looks like a number of years, guys, from 2018, 19 up to the beginning of 20, and at around the 4 or 5 cent mark. And very few charts will you be able to bring up. Go to your exchange chart right now. Try and bring up ADA in 2017. Try and do it. I would invite you guys to try and do that. It's difficult to get this data. It's difficult to have this discussion. It just is. Okay. And I don't want to say it's like a difficult thing for us to talk about. No, a lot of the charts on Cardano will not show you this run up in 2017 where it was over $1.35. Now it's had a great run now. Look at this. It had a great run in 2017. Look at the run now. It's been phenomenal. A lot of money was made, right? Some people were getting in, got in at 5, 6 cents. Okay. So it was a huge, phenomenal gain, guys. 40x. Really, from 5 cents, 5 cents up to $1 is a 20x, right? So, up to like a 40x. Over that, really, 40, 60x. It's been a big run. It's been somewhat competitive with Dogecoin. Believe it or not, the returns have been somewhat competitive with Dogecoin. Now, people want to know, well, how much, all I'll say is this. People want to know, but, well, are you saying that it's going to retrace? All I'm saying is that it has already expressed itself in the past in terms of a complete kind of liquidation of the price. Now, there's a million arguments that you can make as to why that wouldn't happen again. All right. I'd like to hear those arguments. Why? Because then you're at least discussing the fact that maybe it would return to a level that you would just think is absurd right now. No one would have told you, Cardano, in 2017, no one would have told you. Everyone would have disagreed who held it, who believed in the use case and the utility back in 2018. Every single person that owned it would have probably fought me and said, there's no way it's going to go down to 2 cents or 3 cents. It's impossible. I would have lost tons of subscribers, tons of people. The only thing I have now in my advantage is that it literally did that in 2018. Right. So from a logic standpoint, you have to state, technical analysis, and logic in general, but technical analysis, we look at the past, we apply it to the current situation, and we try and project what will happen. Not that that's going to happen just like it did previously, but why did it go to 2 cents, guys? Literally to 2 cents. Why did it go from $1.40? There's a million reasons why you can say it did. If it does occur again, I know for a fact right now anyone holding Cardano, which would maybe include me as well, I would have a lot of reasons why I would say it's not going to go to 4 or 5 cents again. No way. We're still doing well. We're still. I'll just say, as we draw out the Fibonacci's, I'm bringing this up for Cardano because I really think Cardano is performing well right now. I'm going to tell you that. I really think that it's performing relatively well amidst the retracement. I have nothing but compliments right now for Cardano. I have compliments for Dogecoin and believe it or not, for Bitcoin. I look at the pricing action a little bit differently. I'll tell you that, just a touch differently, because I look at a return to something like, I won't say zero, but anything, a return into the 78.6, I look at that as a huge buying opportunity. Why? Because I have to kind of conform, guys. I have to conform to what's happened in the past. And if it doesn't get down to this lower level, I still have to kind of say, I'm going to preserve my backup cash. Okay, because the last thing in the world, and I draw this triangle again because that represents my cash position, my participation in Cardano. Okay, and I may draw just right up to the current level right now. I may have a real light exposure right now. As it goes down, I may be willing to like double and triple down my exposure, right? But I'm going to keep a heavyweight approach towards the downside, to where if it were to go to 5 cents again, that's where the cash is made. That's literally where the millions of dollars are made, guys. When you have these lower levels, computed in, it's Dogecoin at 007, right? That's what you're looking at. I'd like to invest $10,000 into Dogecoin at 007. Okay, that's what I'd like to plan for that if it happens. Well, why? Well, if it happens that you could get back in at 007, okay, with $10,000, and you could hold it up to, the next run up to 70 cents, guys, that's $1 million. Right? So to plan like that, because it's already occurred, that just occurred this year. The volatility, you don't have to get too far down the road, guys, because the volatility, look at the volatility here. The volatility in Dogecoin already went from 6 cents up to 45 cents, 6 cents to 45 cents, back down already. Okay, look at this. Listen to this, guys. It went from 6 cents to 45 cents, back down to, what is this, guys? What is this, 13 cents? Oh, but it can't go back down to, well, hold on. It went from 6 to 45 to 13. You see what I'm talking about? It's already expressed itself. Oh, we know, but then it went, then it went up to 75 cents. And it went from 75 cents down to 19 cents. From 75 to 90, it went to 75 cents, then it went back down to 19 cents. So if I structure orders, depending upon the volatility, et cetera, if I decide, when it's at 75 cents, I want it at 20 cents. I'm going to stack my cash at lower levels, and I want to say I want to go ahead and I want to get that at 20 cents. You say, well, it's never going to go down there. It just went to 20 cents. It went to 20 cents in what was that, May 20th. It went to 20 cents. Okay, so this structuring of cash lower, heavyweight on the downside, it's not complicated. You see the value in it. It's just being able to calculate the figures, being able to stay and kind of have the discipline of saying, well, I know it's a volatile market. I'm going to continually, essentially, I'm going to gear myself and my cash towards acquisitions at lower levels. Okay, that doesn't mean we want it to go down. That just means I have that approach because it has been going down. It's been going up and going down. There's not a person in the room that doesn't want to experience the positive side of the price action. That's definitely going to occur. That is a part of the protocol approach to profit. It has to occur, right? Absolutely. You would never catch someone saying, well, you're going to miss that. No, the same way we're going to try and pick this up at 20. And guys, we've had orders waiting. I've talked about that for a long time. What do? We have, we draw out the Fibonacci and we have double and triple down, okay, at each level. You can enter those limit orders now. You can do that when it's at 75 cents. You can enter into all the limit orders. Okay, so that if you have a volatile day, the market maker will come down, swing down, pick you up, and look at you made a huge profit. If you decided, well, I'm just going to go ahead and enter into an order, and we were live around this time. I got this essentially this figure of where it held and right up above to my inside circle. Okay, just to the small group around me. I literally got this out during this huge crash, and I was like, this is going to be the level. And it was like, okay, if it's calculable, and it wasn't investment advice because it literally is just drawing the Fibonacci. It's literally a predetermined level on the Fibonacci. So I'm like, this is it. I mean, I know I drew it right. This is the level, where it's going to hit. And what happened? It hit. Okay, so that's an example. Like immediately, just within that time frame, as you look at the volatility of this, and just understand again, it may not be the Cardano. It may not be the exact return, but it's the same discussion, guys. You understand that. It's the same discussion. And Cardano in 2017 went from $1, like $1.15. Let's look on the candles. Excuse me. Yeah, it got up to $1.40. from $1.40 to 2 cents. Okay, now it's different. It doesn't have Elon. It doesn't have all these different, I'd say factors or aspects of it. It doesn't have the Doge army. It doesn't have all these different, kind of wonderful things that makes it Dogecoin. But as we look at just the last month, we're looking at Cardano at $1, just as an example. Okay, from $1.40 down to 2 cents. Well, let's take a look in the last month here. Okay, in the last month plus or so, about 4 to 6 weeks, we have Dogecoin that has gone from 7 cents to 45 cents down to 18 cents, then to 75 cents, ballpark, 75 cents back down to 19 cents. Guys, that's a hugely, hugely volatile asset. If your dollar is turning into $10, then turning into $2, then turning into $6, you guys understand, if you're able to trade a little bit and enter into pricing targets, you don't necessarily want you don't necessarily want your $10,000 turning into $3,000, into $5,000 or $6,000. You don't want to experience that if you can avoid it, and a lot of that can be avoided. It's just if you follow the principles of technical analysis and kind of general, trade strategy, like normal participation, I would say, in a market from a demand perspective, from an economics or a business perspective, right? Just basic stuff we've studied in college or high school, even. I think, basic market participation. If something's expensive, you don't have that much demand. We never, guys, decide we're going to put all our cash in at, heavily on the top levels. We really think it's going to go up from here. No, once it gets through its bull run and it wants to retrace, we called this live, guys. We were the only group that called this live. We were live during the price action on the top. All right. So, yeah, we spent a lot of time to kind of, to show our grit in the situation and let people know, yeah, we were live during this. Absolutely. We were streaming live. We cut it loose at the top. We didn't have to experience this. We entered here. Okay, at the bottom level, we entered here. So yes, you can cut it loose at the top and enter here. You can play the levels alongside, kind of, I'd say along the way in between, and enjoy it, guys. That's why we're involved in the market. We do enjoy it. So the volatility is expressed maybe a bit differently in Dogecoin than it is in Cardano, but nonetheless, you have to admit, and it's not as extreme, but it's relatively extreme. If it were too much more extreme, I'm not sure that it would have the hearts and minds of everybody. I would say Cardano must have burned some bridges. It either burned a bridge when it went from $1.37 or $1.40 down to 2 cents, or it created some unbelievable acquisition opportunities. Right? It got to the point, yes, where people had decided, yeah, I'm going to, just like we do, guys, on the channel here, I'm going to structure my holdings and my cash heavyweight on the downside, meaning I'm going to acquire Cardano most heavily. Not that I'm not involved right now or that I wouldn't want to be involved at some of the higher levels to experience the price action. Absolutely. I enjoy trading, right? There's tons of price action at these I'd say in the micro frequencies particularly. And there's all types of, chart formations. There's all types of everything from bull pennants to triangulations to work with and have a good time and enjoy the market. That's what we do, is we enjoy the market. But as we look at these lower levels, okay, this is where I want my resource cash. Okay, it's already proven to me. Multiple coins, multiple investments have proven to me. Okay, that the heavyweight approach, keeping my cash reserves on the downside here, long term, is an extraordinarily profitable approach. Okay, so it's Bitcoin in 2018 went down to, after its run up, went down to 3,500. Okay. Then it went down to, let's go ahead and look at this real quickly, guys. I don't know that you know this. I had to look at it to really believe it, but you guys, I think, will be impressed with this. Let me see if I can pull up the entirety of the Bitcoin chart back through, and it may let me, or it may not let me right now. Let me see where we're at. Yeah, let's just look at in 2018. In 2018, guys, back through, we had the crest in around December of 2017. Then we had the spill out when it was up about 18 or 19,000. From 19,000, it went down to the next December. Okay, a year on year, it went down to $3,000. Okay, so about $3,300. We can get the exact figure, but it went from about $19,000 to $3,000. Okay, then it went up, okay, in 2018 to, let's say, June 2019. It went back up to $13,000. Then it decided to go down again to $3,300. Okay, that $3,300 was around March of last year. All right, so there have been two instances. I'm just going to bring this up as you look at Cardano going all the way down. There have been two instances where literally Bitcoin has gone from in 2019 and 2020 to no more than about $3,000. Wow, $3,100. This, in around March of 2020, it went down to $3,800. Again, touching that $3,000 mark. Now, will that happen again? I don't know, but I guarantee you, I promise you, if it does occur again, I have heavy resource cash available to deploy at that level. I just always will. It's part of the trade dynamic of what I'm willing to involve my resource cash into. And it's not that, we just have gobs of money and we don't, we wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. That's not the approach, guys. It's a level of respect for the funds that I do maintain, the resource cash that I have, and I decide to deploy it in a way that is consistent with the previous price action. Okay, I'm not ever going to be exposed at a higher level, ever. Never am I going to deploy all of my cash into something like Bitcoin or something like Dogecoin necessarily. Not all of my cash. Absolutely not. I'm always going to have the backup resource, heavyweight kind of amount of capital available to take advantage of of lower prices. I've got orders literally just swarming in this area ready. And guys, the big guys who are going to make the money in the market literally are already up in here just fishing, just whenever it wants to come down in here and there and let the market maker come take it up. Profits, huge profits. That is the approach in terms of buying low. You have to get those orders filled, buying low and selling higher. Right now, this was a huge run up. Different phases, I'd say, of the price action are going to lead you in kind of different directions. I'll say, let's say it's going to give you a different approach. People will say, well, you have all your cash on the downside. You don't even play the market. That is so not true. We love playing bullish pattern formations. We loved the run up in Bitcoin. We loved the run up in Dogecoin. We had a blast on the run up in Dogecoin. And guys, I'm no newbie to Doge, okay? Back through my friends and I started discussing it at 007. Like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do that, right? So we had fun then. We had fun, on and through, January, February, March. It's been a lot of fun. So trading it has been a blast. It's just knowing what to do when you trade it is a lot of fun. You don't have to. I say you don't have to be an expert, but it helps to kind of, it helps to have a group. So that's what our VIP level of membership is all about. I think you have to, by the way, on the left-hand side, you see that barcode. You guys can scan that if you want to put this on a different monitor or something, and you can actually go to our Twitter. That'd be great. We'd love to have you guys plug in. That's where we do have a DM, okay? And I come up with all types of pricing targets, okay? I come up with all types of, we brought a Matic. Yeah, Matic. We brought a 3.5X, and before other people were talking about it. I was looking back at the exchange information where I got that today, doing some additional market maker research, seeing, what other opportunities I can bring the group as part of the exclusive perk, okay, is kind of dedicated research to you guys. Not, I've heard other coins or other groups that have, the first 4 coins we had were 50% return within the first week. All right, first 7 to 10 days we had a 3.5x. We had 2 other 2x's. So, we've had all kinds of, big, strong moves. And I expect that of myself and kind of other group. We have a good group. We don't take things lightly. We focus on Doge. It's nice and chill, but we know how to get busy in the market. And we enjoy that. We have a lot of serious people, from investment bankers to, business owners to exchange employees to, real heavy hitting kind of people. They show up and they want to carry their own weight. It's not a, it's not a situation, there's no handout in the group in terms of, here's your 10X for the week. Go ahead and just let's all get rich quickly. That's not it. We focus on the fundamentals of technical analysis. A lot of people are certified with the New York Institute of Finance. That's an educational opportunity that I can plug you up with or plug you into if you would like to get certified by the New York Institute of Finance. I can facilitate that. You can hit me up on Twitter. I'd be happy to facilitate that. Anyone can become certified. So you don't have to be, obviously. Clearly, if you're just enjoying crypto, it's not a big deal. Just enjoy trading. But as we look at ways to profit, as we look at this incredible amount of volatility, I wanted to bring up Bitcoin today, right? Based upon the history, it has more retracement to go through. And on the probabilities, guys, the probabilities say that Bitcoin has more retracement to go through. Okay, so I wrote that and I gave that to the group today because it's the truth. On the probabilities, Bitcoin has more to go through. People want to say, well, is it going to go through it? Is it going to retrace? Is it going to go down to its golden pocket? I mean, that's from my group, from what we understand, the golden pocket is the most probable, right? It is the most probable level. Whether or not you're talking about Dogecoin, right? Whether or not you're talking about Dogecoin or whether or not you're talking about Bitcoin, the most probable level of retracement is literally the golden pocket. For it to skip the golden pocket would go against the grain of probability. I think everyone who's read any literature or has any degree whatsoever, I'd say a degree of acumen or business smarts or market smarts or intelligence, everyone's going to have to agree to skip the golden pocket. You're going to have to beat the odds. You just are. At some point, you're going to want to hit it. That's the golden ratio that's required, okay, for price action. It just is. It likes to hit the golden pocket. It just does. So when people say, well, it's going up now, well, it may, but I would still, if it's going up now, I'm definitely going to be prepared for the golden pocket at some point, right? And I don't want to have this chaotic, kind of mess of things. On the lines, guys, on the lines, I want to see it. I want to see it in the golden pocket. I wanted to actually, get down into this $24,000 mark. Right, I think that's an essential. The framework of fundamentals of technical analysis require us to consider the fact that this is a probability and to discuss that this is something that's probable. Okay. Now, if it doesn't occur, well, I guess the framework is wrong. The probabilities were wrong. It beat the probabilities. That's all right, but typically I want to work with the probabilities. If there's a strong indication, if there's a strong likelihood. For instance, you'll find me on the side where there's a strong likelihood. If it's an outlier event or a black swan event or something, or the equivalent of it's on the bullish side of just kind of a miracle go round, whatever you would want to say, a real bullish trend that indeed it's going to $500,000 or $200,000, and it's miracle after miracle and it keeps going, and for some reason it's beating all the probabilities. Okay, that's fine. But I'm going to be the voice of reason talking to people about the fact that not that it's going to go to 3,500 again. It's gone there twice, okay? Bitcoin's gone there twice in the last number of years on its retracements. Not that would occur now, but the fact that at least the golden pocket, I mean, I don't know that anyone would know about know their technical analysis if we were to omit the fact that the golden pocket is a golden ratio for a reason. It just is, right? It's because things like to hit the golden pocket. So when we talk about those probabilities, I did circulate today something with the VIPs, and I was just like, yeah, this is indicated. I wrote down it's probable that we would experience more retracement. Now, it would be unlikely right now for us to continue to the upside, continue this quote-unquote bullish trend. Okay, everyone says, well, we're still in a bullish trend. Sure, you've achieved a positive dynamic in the pricing, but you're in a heavy retracement. So the notion, what I don't like is the idea that because we believe it may go to the upside, people want to become more heavily financially involved in it. I just think that's a trap. I don't think that speaks well to the entirety of the crowd or anyone to maybe encourage people. I don't know, maybe encourage people to involve their cash at these levels because it looks like we're going to break out. I don't really care about looks like. I'll tell you, I don't care about looks like. I care about the fundamentals of technical analysis, right? I care about the probabilities, okay? A chart formation on a different time frame, one of the reasons I don't care too much about looks like is because on an hour time frame, we can find one chart, right? And then on the daily time frame, we can find another chart. Then on the 4 hour Yeah, on the 4-hour, we'll find another chart, and they're all going to look differently. So in terms of what looks like, well, which time frame are we on this time, right? On this level of analytics, what are we going to say is the latest story of the day in terms of how this should behave just right now, right? So we get into 5 or 6 or 7 different chart formations. And we'll all formulate an opinion about which one is correct and which one, well, the larger view on the time scale is going to be the most accurate. Well, okay. What I know is that it really hasn't dived into its key features. The 7-8, I'd like to see it hit the 7-8. Okay, the retracement of the 7-8. So that's just what I'd like to see. So we'll see if it gets there. If it doesn't, that's fine. I mean, I'm looking on the daily right now. So on the daily, I'd like to see it hit its golden pocket. That's just it. I think it can. I think it should. And the probabilities say that it will get down to 24,000. I hope it gets there sooner rather than later. I don't want the prices of all the of all of our altcoins, everything to go down. But if they would go down there and spend a minute down there, a second down there, then I think they could move up. Until they do that, the literature on points to the fact that it's either going to want to do this now or it's going to want to do this potentially at a more painful level in the future. And to not recognize that and to not speak about it, I think is to contravene the majority of the literature on point. Okay? Why? Because I have the majority of the literature on point. Here's one book right here. Right? I've got the literature. I've had some of this stuff since high school. Working through this stuff and studied it at a collegiate level, right, and at a graduate level. So, at some of the top schools in the country, right? So, that's just that's what this says to me. Okay, this what this says to me is that I'd like to see this. It hasn't gotten to where I'd like to see it yet. That's where the probabilities lie. So, with that said, I have a limited level of willingness to participate in it right now, as I do everything until it gets down to my levels. And everyone else can have their own levels. People cannot like, my levels at all. But I'll compare my levels with their levels, or anyone else who doesn't like it. I'll compare my levels with their levels in about, 12 to 18 months or 24 months. And I'll look forward to comparing my levels with their levels, because my levels of involvement, while they seem demanding, and they don't seem real friendly, and they don't seem, we're here to have a good time. Okay, well, I'm going to have a real good time again in my investments again once I've reclaimed my levels. That's just it. That's how I have a good time, because to me this is not all a joke. This is not all fun factory. This is not all, well, everyone get together and, well, unfortunately, I mean, everything was fun until, well, I know you met the guy and he lost he lost $500,000 in his Dogecoin account. I know that, but I mean, we're having a good time. No. Not when they come talk to me. Not when they come talk to me. They're not going to listen to my station or my channel or deal with our VIPs. They're not going to be doing that and leveraging huge amounts of cash in, etc. And if they do, it's because they haven't listened to the streams. Because I care about people's profit. I care about their experience in the market. The market has a way of kind of, laying lessons on you, and these are expensive. These are dear lessons. And I don't like people to have a bad experience because it affects their relationships. It affects their families. It affects their willingness to participate in the market. And so it's important to me because I've learned lessons throughout the years. You guys have learned lessons throughout the years. The market will teach you lessons when you lose money. And sometimes when it's drastic amounts of money, it can feel like a really drastic lesson, and it can be painful, right? A lot can happen. Not to get, I'm not a guidance counselor at all, right? Right? But at the end of the day, you understand, like when people lose, 40 and 50 grand, or they lose $400,000 or $500,000 or $4 or $5 million, like, people get divorced, right? They just do, right? When people do well instead of doing poorly, when they execute positive trades and they have a good rationale, then they're having fun. Then their relationships are doing well. Then, their life is going in kind of the right direction. That's what I like to see, right? People with the probabilities on their side, right? Because, if things were to change or go up, let's say with Bitcoin, and it didn't hit the golden pocket, for the rest of the person's life, they could sit there and say, well, you know what? I played the probabilities. And I'd probably do it again. I'd probably play the probabilities. I wasn't as involved as I could have been. Maybe I had some light exposure, but it hadn't hit the golden pocket yet. It hadn't hit the $24,000 yet, right? So I'll forever kind of stand on the fact I'm going to go with with the entirety of the book collections, the encyclopedias on technical analysis, on the way that markets function. I'm going to expect it to hit this. If it doesn't hit it, I'm going to go ahead and expect next time for it to hit it again, because it's just a part of the mainstay of the framework of the fundamentals of technical analysis, right? So yeah, that's what I would feel good sitting at a dinner table or at a party or a function. Well, I chose to just go in line with the fundamentals. That's what I do. It treats me well on the aggregate, right? On year after year, that's just what I do. So yeah, you may have gotten lucky once. We'll see. I'll get you next year, right? No big deal. No big deal. But I'm going to always play those probabilities. So you guys that got a copy of that today in the VIP that I got in the back room, right? Get that to you guys in the back room. Yeah, you guys got that, and it wasn't easy to write, right? Because at some point it is easy for me, but when I write something and it's against what the market condition is right now, and people really wanting it to go up and do great and all this different stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna have to just go ahead and write this, because the probabilities state that essentially what I'm writing, it's not comfortable to write it. It's a downer. Well, I'm still gonna give you guys, if you feel like it's a downer, I'm going to try and present it in a way now to where you realize it's not a downer, right? If the price does drop, what does that mean? It means you get more profits. It's a cyclical, highly volatile, machine, this price from Bitcoin to Dogecoin. These are cyclically like volatile, incredible investment machines. We have a great time when we buy low. We have an awful time when we buy high. We have a great time when we buy low. We just do. Now, in the meantime, the patience that's required, well, sometimes we'd like a little bit more price action. Well, welcome to the market, right? There's a million different things you can invest in, right? But sometimes we get to know each other, right? We get to spend some time, and we get to get some certifications. We get to, do our other gig, whatever our other gig is. I got a good friend. He's like, "Do you have a gig? What's your gig?" He's a cool guy. He's former LA Laker, cool dude. Shout out to the Guns N' Roses crew. There's a Guns N' Roses crew in LA. I'll just say that. Good guys. Former Laker. But he's a real cool guy. He's like, "So what you doing? Like, you got a gig? What's going on?" I'm like, "A gig? What do you mean a gig?" He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I got a channel. We got a bunch of investors who want to beat the market. Achieve alpha." Alpha is the percentage by which you beat the market, right? And these are good talks for us. These are the kind of talks that we plug into. It's like, yeah, that's good. And it's nice. We'll slowly have people kind of show up and say hello. I said we'd go over ADA, Cardano. We kind of have. I said we'd go over Matic. Love Matic. Matic was something else. You just look at Matic, all those green lines. Those are all investment levels. You can tell how much I like Matic. If it decides to kind of do this, I am not mad at all. If it decides to pour down through here and slowly allow me to accumulate, or anyone else to accumulate on these pricing targets, beautiful. I have zero problem with this. The price action of Matic has been so phenomenal. And you guys just know, with everything that I'm investing, every level that I'm at, the big thing is, I'd say for people involved right now, book those positive trades. But you guys know what my investment level is, right? Heavy weight on the downside, right? Always reserve cash at these lower levels. Big time, just waiting, huh? And around these lower levels, just waiting for the market maker to kind of pick me up down here. And when he picks me up, just settling and bam. And just waiting for him to move this whole amount up to a higher level, right? Absolutely. And then what happens at that higher level? Well, at that higher level, it becomes a little bit more interesting, right? Because then you have something that looks like this. Right, and then that's nice, right? That's a nice kind of image of why we buy low. Absolutely, huh? You understand that? Yeah, that's what that turns into, a whole lot of green, right? Once you capitalize on this here and the whole entirety of it, yeah, the breadth of your holdings when they're brought back up to the top, right? When you're buying high, I'll tell you this: when you're buying high, you're essentially doing this. You're convincing yourself that you're making an incredible investment, right? When you buy low and the breadth of it is brought up, you guys can see just a visual on that, the difference. Yeah, because you convince yourself you've made a great investment. This is what happens to it when it goes down. Boom, right? I mean, but you made a great position. You entered into a great position. Did you really? What happens when it goes down? Whoop. See, yeah. Well, no, we bought in. I've gone ahead and decided to invest in Matic. Well, what price did you get in? Well, about $2. Oh, you got it at $2. I see. Well, that's good. Well, what's the price at? What's the price at now? Well, it's about. I got it at $2. It's about $1.50. You see that? As soon as you drop off that cliff of going in the negative, boom, that green's gone, guys. And particularly in comparison to anything else you're going to be looking at, guys, you still have you still have a little bit. Okay, let's say $1.50. Let's kind of be rational with it. Okay, well that's not exactly. You spent a lot up there. Now you're into here, and now you're into kind of here. Now you're into kind of here, and the reason it's going to look like this. It's because you spent your cash up here. All your cash got essentially washed out, right? So you weren't efficient with the use of your money. So when we talk about, getting in heavily at the lower levels, and we're doing this the entirety of the way. We're doing this with different kind of micro frequencies. The approach is double and triple down, heavier weight on the downside. As you accomplish that, you're going to wind up with, a heavier position with still your resource cash underneath you, so that when this cycle just starts to repeat, and if it takes off from like in here, right? I'll say that if it were to take off from a position like, let's say, in around the say the dollar mark, right? You're going to build up, something as you go down to the dollar, right? And what's going to happen? Well, when that decides to potentially go up to this level, all right, we can play that. That's okay. I like that. That's a decent level of exposure. Well, then you've got that. That's nice. I like that. Now, that would be as opposed to you just throwing, again, let's say all your money into, well, I'm going to go ahead and establish a position here, right? What's going to happen? Well, it went down about 50%. You see, it's just easier to collapse that position. I want to give you just a different frame of a mindset to say, yeah, we invested towards the top and, well, it's gone down. If you're investing at the bottom heavily, if you take that entire approach and invest more heavily along the way in the bottom, when that goes up, guys, that's where you have the breadth of, and I'll just say that's where you have the real breadth of your earnings. So the wider your base can be, essentially you're increasing your volume, guys, your volume, your acquisition, how many coins you can buy, how many shares you can buy at the lower prices, right? We just have too much volatility to not take advantage of this. You guys know that. So Matic is one that's just been beautiful. If it could repeat what it's done, that'd be great, because a lot of you guys have made great money in the group. So that's kind of the approach with Matic. It's currently at about $1.35. We got into it at 78 cents. Some people in the group got in at about, about 30 cents, maybe even before 30 cents. So it's been one of those that it was 78 cents just shortly after Doge was, and it decided to go from 78 to like $2.50. So it was nice, over $2.50. So it was a lot of fun. We were there the whole time, over about $2.80. Yeah, it put about $2 on top of the 80 cents that we brought it to the group at. So that was a phenomenal write-up. It was a lot of fun. Good first 7 to 10 days of the VIP, and not everyone got the information on Matic. Only the guys in the VIP got it. Only the members got it. So that was just it. That was the truth. That was privately shared with the members. That's it. Big recommendations like that, it's just that's theirs. That's it. People say, well, we're going to get another one. Yeah, we'll get more of those. We're constantly looking at opportunities. We also had 2 or 3 other ones that have gone up, 2x. So, some of it's going to depend on whether or not you want to. I never tell people, go invest in this right now. You have to. Sometimes I'll joke and say, I'll say, why don't you go buy this a cup of coffee, right? Put a cup of coffee on it, because it may be worth about that in a year or absolutely nothing. We joke around about like the Wall Street bets coin. I'm like, maybe put a cup. I tell people this could be great and it could be worth absolutely nothing. So I'm real careful about that stuff. So we joke about it most of the time. So as we look at Matic, it's just as we, if we want to draw fibs on it, we can. It's just been in a holding pattern, and we know that. You guys have the pricing targets in the VIP. You still have the pricing targets. Those are still the correct pricing targets. I'll say that. So, we're just kind of waiting to see what it wants to do. That RSI is going to continue to build as it slowly kind of marches its way down. You guys know this most recent move right here was wild, guys. That was a 2x right here after a 3.5x. If you worked your fibs, biggest deal. People don't want to work the Fibonacci's. They just don't want to work it. They understand. It's like, okay, London, fine, I understand it. I'm going to hold through this. Why don't you work your Fibonacci's? You understand what a pricing target is. Why don't you work your Fibonacci's, do a double, triple down, preserve your cash on the downside, and enjoy trading? It takes 10 minutes to put the trades in. You understand how to draw. I mean, everyone knows how to draw Fibonacci. It's not complicated, right? So here you go, draw Fibonacci. There you go. Cut loose at the top, which we did. We called the top, right? We exactly hit our target at the top. Literally exactly. We hit our target. Literally within like what 0.002, I don't know, like 0.2 of a cent, we hit the top. You know, like beautifully we hit the top. So yeah, that's the cut loose point. Getting re-involved, that's fine. But you have to exercise that discipline. You just have to. And it makes it more fun to pick up another 2x right here, 230%, et cetera, what it went on this next move here. So this has some volatility, which is just kind of, irreconcilable. It is going to be this kind of a dog kind of fight. And it's nice. It's a good, it's been a good investment, one we enjoy looking at. And orders just all over the place. Voyager just picked up the opportunity to trade. So Voyager is a nice app. Big shout out, to the Voyager crowd. Definitely a nice application to trade on. Limit orders, kind of crucial in this ball game. Let's maybe turn a little music on and kind of relax. Hope you guys are having a good time. I'll go to the chats if you guys need to. Appreciate Angel last night doing, 5 super chats, $99 a piece. That was awesome, huh? That was just nice to see somebody who could hit the button and do something cool. I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Andrew's being good on super chats as well. I just worry about, like, people are doing well, right? You know, when people say, well, we made, 50 grand yesterday. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. That's good. We believe you. I know you guys are doing well and making money, and hopefully you're not losing that money that you made is the only, like, real ragtag approach I'll do on it. But it's nice to see, like, everyone knows, I think Angel threw down $500. Like, he cleared some cash on Matic. He told us afterwards he cleared, probably 6 figures on Matic, and we covered Matic heavily in terms of trading, et cetera. And so, yeah, everyone's like, yeah, he probably did. He definitely cleared 6 figures. So that's nice to have someone who's done well, and for him to support the community. Just have to shout out to him. Andrew's been real solid too about when we hit a pricing target, when we're dead on with one of our targets. He's usually right there and saying, "Hey, let's celebrate." Little chat or something. I'm not real big on those, but it's inspiring to me. I'll tell you that. Andrew, he super chatted up the first $100. I was like, yeah, I'll do something. I guess I'm inspired now, because he didn't have to do it. So with Angel, I said I would be inspired as well. And I'm working on that, Angel. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that will be. I'm not sure what that will be. With Andrew, I got the idea to join the Navy SEAL Foundation. So I did that. And we'll see what comes next. I don't know. In terms of the inspiration, I'm definitely looking for that. I'm looking forward to it also. So, it may hit at any moment. The light switch will just go on. As we look at Bitcoin, people are saying now it's in a different pattern and it's going to break up. All right. If it decides to, that's fine. I'm ready at lower levels. I just am. Right. Like order on the book. That's probably the best description about it. Matic. What would you say? Matic's just in retracement, I would say. So if it's just in a retracement, we can talk about the percentage that it's at. If you guys would like to talk about the percentage of retracement that it is at. Let me see if we can turn a little music on just to kind of do something. We'll see that things are turning a little bit green. That's good, huh? We'd like to see that. You guys on Keep, huh? What happened on Keep, huh? I don't know. I brought Keep to the crew this afternoon, and all of a sudden it was up like 20%. Yeah, that was nice, huh? That was pretty good. Keep did real well, and then it decided to completely retrace, didn't it? Like, whoa, that thing retraced, huh? Let's look at Keep real quickly and take a look into it. It sure did. It broke out of a triangulation, and then it completely retraced. So I don't know if people were willing to. Did they cap out at the 20%? I don't know. That's a pretty good return, huh? 20%. That's not bad. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm not sure. A little wink at you. I'm not sure if that's within your paradigm of hope there, or your limitation, your threshold. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal. It certainly taught you a lesson, because if you got in at the breakout here when I brought it to you, and maybe not a lesson, maybe you doubled down into it and you have a bigger position. But as you look at Keep, I brought it to the group this afternoon as a potential trade. I brought it to them at this price right here, okay, as it was looking at breaking out. Now, the big lesson on it is you had a great opportunity to make 20% or 5 or 2 or 10 or anything, right? This had a great trajectory to the upside, all right, amidst the day when everything was kind of down, right? Yeah, so Keep was one of those examples of me just bringing an idea to the group. So I need you guys to turn on notifications, turn on the Twitter, kind of that lifeline, right? It's just, in terms of trades, like if it has a heartbeat and it's waking up, like, hey, guys, there's something that looks like it's waking up. So this was a nice move to the upside. It maxed out at, I think, about 20% from the point in time that I brought it to you, just to kind of keep us busy, right? Something to do, right? That was a decent something to do. If you didn't get that message, maybe you weren't in the DM or you didn't turn on your Twitter notifications. So, you guys can DM me anytime. You guys in the VIP, I'm around all day long. So that's what I try and do. If I'm not jogging or working out or a little bit of time with the family, I'm trying to stay plugged in so I can bring opportunities like this. So we'll just say Keep was something on the book about Keep 20%. There we go. We'll put that right there just so we can kind of remind that I brought it to you guys. Some people worrying about where you're going to pick it up. What are you going to do? What exchange are you going to, trade it on? So, yeah, we kind of went through some of those things. I think Kraken, Coinbase, not sure what else, some other options there. We can kind of sort through, take a look at what's kind of moving. STMX, ICP, just some outliers. We have also AMC went well today. AMC was a good one. While it was down, right? While AMC was down, we executed a positive trade with a pricing target. That's really nice because everyone else was just down, right? We came up with a pricing target, literally, and the pricing target got executed. We had some positive price action for about 10%. So most of the people were down overall on AMC today. While they were down, we executed a pricing target at a level of support in the Fibonacci, and we got what? We got about 10%, so that was nice. Huh? If anyone played that, I know that you had the opportunity to make some money. Everyone has a different threshold in terms of what they want to take. I'd say what they want to achieve in terms of their profitability. So that's okay, but AMC worked out real well. Yeah, so welcome to that world of stocks. It behaves exactly like anything else, guys. From a coin to anything else. If it has price action, we'd like to say hello to it, right? And there's different considerations on stocks than crypto. Crypto's a little bit, I don't know, what would you say? It's a little bit more easy going, seems like. But I don't know, not all the time. Some intense crowds. Let's see what we have. Litecoin's moving a little bit. That's nice. IOTA. You have Matic on the left. So go ahead and put this back as Doge so that we keep that left hand committed to Doge. That screen on the left will be the live Doge pricing so that we kind of see it develop. 32.5 cents. I thought I would just, I was thinking about what should I say tonight on the stream, etc. I thought, I just want to, what would I say? I want to get here. I want to talk to you guys, and whatever you guys need, I would like to be here for it. How about that? That's what I thought. I just want to show up, and I want to be here for whatever you guys need. I thought that would be a good deal. Just want to welcome Beyond the Badlands. I also want to welcome Angel Matos and I Am Become Doge, along with James Bond and Steve Laser, Gifford, American Real, Jellica. How are you, Jellica? Nice to have you. Jeff Arnett with Joshua Shutt, Matthew Wynn. We just have a lot of great guys, from Remy to Dynamite Dojo, Mark, as we have over 100. So I hit the most recent ones just to say hello again, and you guys know that I'm always, always just kind of around what a literal Dogecoin is on the literal moon. We will all be millionaires. Full Doge moon coming. I love T-Dog. I love that. He's talking about when it goes on the moon. Listen to that in the chats. Mr. T, love you, brother. What's up? He says, just wait. When a literal Dogecoin is on the literal moon, we will all be millionaires. Full Doge moon coming. I love that. That's hilarious. If you guys know T, that's the truth. Speaking the truth, isn't he? Absolutely. How is Mr. T this evening? Yeah, T, you need to get to know Lars. You don't know what you're missing out on. This group is a really phenomenal group. Hey, James, what's up? Nice to have you here. What's up, Joseph? Oh, what's up? What's up? You guys got Joseph and we got the guys in the house now. You guys don't know. We got some power here now, huh? This is a good group. Yeah, Joseph, we hit that pricing target on what was it? On AMC. Nice hit, huh? And nice to see all the technicals work perfectly. Like the entirety, you have to understand this. The largest stock concern and gamma squeeze on the planet right now. Literally. You have to say it literally, right? And you saw the price action on AMC? We nailed it, brother. Like literally, and everyone knows, like I think it was on the hourly, we'll get on the exact time frame. We absolutely hammered the price on it. Like just perfectly just hammered it, right? And it was just when you do that, it's just like, well, that's a good thing, right? That we know what we're doing, right? So, yeah, that was nice to see. Everyone's like, yeah, just beautiful target strike, right? And so, yeah, congrats on that, guys. You did a great job on that, and yeah, just cool stuff, huh? Real cool stuff. That's what we want to see, is that our approach. It's the same approach that's used by some of the top banks, etc. Without a doubt, we just wouldn't use anything different. If it would cost, I'd say, if it's gonna cost anybody some profits, I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just say that I'm just real big. Some of the guys in here just definitely know me, and it's just I'm real big on credibility, things I might talk about, and how careful I am in public or this or that. I'm very, very. I find it very important in terms of people's returns. And I'm not real big on giving my opinion out to people that I don't kind of know well. So, I stay real guarded. Let me say that I try and stay really guarded in terms of always an approach that represents the least amount of risk and the highest amount of gain. I don't think you're gonna come across another strategy that's as accurate. There's a reason I deploy the strategy that I do, and it's just when you see this lift up and on a different time frame. If we go down to let's go down to like the 5 minute on AMC. Yeah. And these have changed a bit here, but just to see, for people who didn't know, it's like, okay, well, what would you have wanted to get in on today with AMC? Well, let's look at it. It dropped. Okay. It did drop. And then what happened when it dropped? When it dropped, it achieved a positive, 5% or so? Now you can play this straight up on the value of it, 10%. It maxed out at 10% from the point of entry of our pricing target. I think it was a 10% move. The important point was that's just the top level move. That's just the top level, guys. That's just the kind of the top tier, the completion of, I'd say maybe the second tier, but the first full tier of the Fibonacci. So yes, it struck our target. We lasered into it, and bam, we hit it perfectly. That's what we do. So, and it doesn't faze me. Some people get excited and the hype, everything else. It's not going to faze me, guys. That we hit it on either GameStop or AMC. Well, we did it. No, guys, we've been doing it. Like we've been doing it on with Bitcoin, or the $1 trillion deal with Bitcoin, or whatever in the world. That's what we focus on. That's just what we do. The technique works. It's the standards of guys. What does technical analysis mean? I mean, we're doing computations. It's highly computational, right? It's just not difficult stuff. I mean, you guys know that. I'm preaching to the choir here, but you understand that. Like, it is nice for the channel, again, that we struck exactly on our pricing target here. That's just nice because we do that, like, I don't know. I mean, pretty much every day we're doing that at different levels. So not everyone's into the culture with AMC. I mean, it's movie business, right? I mean, it's movies, right? Everyone likes movies. That's pretty easy, right? Well, we're not saying we don't like the movie theater. We just don't like the AMC stock. but you like movies, right? It's like, well, we like movies, right? Well, of course we like movies, but, well, I mean, that's their product. I mean, it's kind of cool. I think I'm excited that we hit that price target. Congratulations to those of you who did that. You may want to know if it's going to go up, right? And I'm like, well, you just made 10% on it. So if you had options on it, it would have been nice to get in right at the options right at that price and have it go up, right? That's when you would have made some cash on those options, right? So, in terms of, well, I want to hold the options for another 6 months. Whoa, I'm a flash kind of guy. I get in and out. You want to see my paperwork, my returns and everything? We've got, 6, 7 plus figures, like 7 plus figure trades, literal, $1 million plus trades going in and out at like 4 and 5 seconds. Bam. Just literally just immediate, just kind of flash action trades, right? And I don't know if anyone ever needs to see those. We can go over some of that stuff. Because, it's not, you're not going to find me, well, I want these options. I think in 6 months, no, 6 months, I may be in Tahiti, right? Or you might be in Tahiti. I don't know. One of the two of us. Sounds like you guys have some plans. A lot of vacations going on. People getting back in town. A couple people got back in town. Appreciate you guys letting me know that. It's really exciting. And it's great to have Jess and Mr. T in the house. You guys, you VIPs, Jess and Mr. T, they're big-time players. Y'all don't know him. Y'all don't know him exactly. Lars, you don't know. Delvey Rodriguez, we can definitely see. So, to all this stuff and would like to learn and give it a shot, how can you start to make money? That's great, Delvey. You can join up at the VIP level. You can definitely join at the VIP level. Those are members. We have a group of good evening. Hey, Darren, how are you? We have a great group of traders, people who either do this full time or want to do this full time. There's a few guys between Joseph and Mr. T that are here that are just kind of commentary, and you guys need to join VIP. I know those guys. They're good traders. I'll tell you that. They have great market instincts, incredible market instincts. But the overall group here, from Steve to Lars to James, is just a group that is very, what would you say, just very capable, technically driven, buy low, sell high, kind of, we focus on the fundamentals of technical analysis. We have day traders at the top there, but it's not the type of day traders that are going to get washed out. We focus on pricing targets daily, right? Pricing targets. That's where you start. That's where we start, is with pricing targets. It's not just what you want to invest in. It's knowing the exact price that you want to target in on, okay? And if you schedule up, and there's a link. Let me go ahead and put a link. Let me put a link on top of this chat is the join for this channel, okay? Okay, so go ahead and hit the link that's pinned to the top, and that's to join. It's to create a membership on the YouTube channel. Okay, that membership on the YouTube channel will give you the access to the exclusive access to the backdoor room, and that's where all the action happens, right? The exclusive VIP that's the level that it's at. You'll see here, professional financial analyst, that's me, and former U.S. presidential advisor, that's just the truth. Prior hedge fund expertise, private, kind of individualized, just a small deal, but big enough to roll with it. It was fun. Great returns, about a 300% annualized return on investment. So not financial advice, big deal. And no, the hedge fund, this and that, I'm not registered with the SEC. We're not putting together hedge, networks and international. I'm not doing investor requirements. That's not what we are involved in. So. And we won't be. I don't want to report to a group like that. I may hire someone to do that. That's what I did last time with the private hedge, kind of fund. It was just like, okay, you're going to do all the paperwork. He's like, yes, I'm going to do all the paperwork. I hired the best guy from Wall Street that I could. He's just a good guy to manage the funds. He's a cool dude. So, yeah, I've got some experience working with him, and he was the number one guy I could find. Out of 60 months, he had 2 down months. And I learned with him, even the best of the best will have problems, right? Even they will have a bad day. He would come up to me all the time and be like, I got a question. I got to talk to you. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, well, I lost some money. I'm like, oh, well, you're gonna make it. You're gonna do okay. I know you are. So As we look at the pattern behavior here, I want to compare a few things, and I want to go through the difference between the one on the left here. The chart on your left is Dogecoin. This is very popular. A lot of market psychology, a lot of dollars. Is it 40 billion currently? That's it. Yeah, it has a lot of market attention. Binance is the number one crypto exchange, right? So the Binance coin, right? The Binance coin is a BNB, right? That's one of the top market cap coins as well. And, I have friends that trade Microsoft options. I have friends that, have run, to copy that on the entire exchange floor for like a major oil conglomerate, like the options exchange floor. One of my best buddies. He's also a former Navy SEAL. Cool dude. He used to run Coronado. So cool dude. Shout out to Big H in the house. Hope you're doing well, brother. Much love. Hope everything's great. We miss you. And don't make me come find you in Florida, brother. You're like, no one's going to find me if they don't want to, but Big H, shout out to you. And so as we look at the chart on the left, the left is, and I just want to bring up the similarity of it, okay? So as you guys can pattern your results, a lot of people get, and understand this, a lot of people get emotionally tied to their investments, okay? Why is that? Well, as we look at this, look at the left-hand side. Look at the price action on it. This is Dogecoin, all right? You see that? You had a run-up. You had a kind of a pennant formation. You had another run-up, and then you had kind of it has settled down. This is on the left-hand side here. I want to just bring this up. I want you guys to learn. Guys, this happens in all types of investments. We just showed how the strategy works fine with AMC. I can bring up the Microsoft chart, or I can bring up the Japanese yen. The strategies, it's the wave formation, the price fluctuations, your entries, your exits, how you're going to profit off things. It doesn't change, guys. It doesn't really change. You may have some outlying events, but look at this in terms of the rise up in the price of Doge, right? A nice, beautiful, I'd say trajectory here, right? Rise up in price, little consolidation, another rise up in price, move to the upside, and a consolidation. All right, let's compare that to exactly what we see essentially on the right-hand side of your screen. It's BNB. Rise up in price, little consolidation. Rise up in price, and a retracement with another consolidation, right? The same exact thing, guys. All right, so when people become very convinced of the nature, right, of their investment and the fundamentals behind it in crypto, guys, I want you to understand, and please listen to the fact you're looking at the same chart, the same pricing behavior. Now, there may be some nuances to it. There are some nuances, yes, right? Because the one on the right happened over a period of months, right? It happened since I'd say from January. Okay, but the one on the left happened within like the last month. So the one on the left happened over a period of like January, February, March, April, May, June, like about 6 months. This happened on the left-hand side, whereas the one on the left-hand side, that's the right, that's BNB, right? Look at Dogecoin. It did the same thing. It just did it in a month. It's the same pricing structure. It's a move to the upside and a retracement. What's the one on the right? BNB, a move to the upside and a retracement. How do we play the one on the right as opposed to the one on the left? We play it the same. We're always looking at price action. We're always looking at price action. Our goal is to book positive trades. Do we want to, turn 10,000 into $1 million, and that's the goal, right? And you start off with 10,000. That's it. We're going to turn it into $1 million. That's not the point. The point is to understand the market. The point is to engage in it, to begin to execute positive trades, to understand the way that the dynamics of pricing work. Okay? Once you start stringing together 5 and 10 positive trades, okay? I only made 5%, but you booked a positive trade, right? Book it. If more is indicated on a specific trade, well, we made 20% this afternoon. Well, great job. Typically, people who have, let's say, $1 million to invest, they might be playing around with 20 grand, right? They might throw in 20 to 50, right? But the people with only 20 to 50 grand, or say 5 grand, people with 20 grand will play almost as hard as somebody with $1 million. and that approach to, right now, this group, we like to trade. We understand it's a process. A lot of people are getting involved in this. They want to do this for a living. They don't want to have a bad experience. If they don't understand a concept, they're going to focus on trying to book the next positive trade. They're going to try and work on stringing together as many positive trades as they can. Because once you do that, you're going to run into very quickly once you get into, well, I've booked 5. London, I got to tell you, I've booked 5 or 8 positive trades. That's the way to go. Good job, right? I'll say. And the next question, which is logical, do you believe that you could start to do that? Could you see doing that with a larger amount of money? And if you keep booking positive trades, I won't have to ask that for too long, unless you're draining the money out of the account and using it for income. All right? But if you have a set amount to the side and you continue to add on a percentage to that, just mathematically, do the mathematics on it. Get an Excel spreadsheet and drag it down. If you can continue to book positive trades, and I'm not talking about, okay, I want to example in, I want to make 20% every trade. What if you make 5 to 10? What if you make 12 sometimes? What if, some of the bigger guys in this room, they're not focused on, they have to make, now guys, some of the breakouts like this on the upside here, you would have to literally defy convention to not have made huge amounts of cash, let's say on the run up on Dogecoin. You would have to have defied convention to. There's Delby Rodriguez has just joined Basecamp. Hey, Delby, what's up, brother? Basecamp is a level that's kind of below VIP, and that's where you want to start. Absolutely. We appreciate that because we know that you belong now in the group. So when you're here, you have a badge next to your name. That means a lot from our standpoint. You'll be able to definitely kind of partake in the discussions, and we just know you belong. We appreciate you doing that. If you can scan, we appreciate you getting to a PC and doing what you did. That's great. If you can scan that code on the left-hand side, that'll take you to the Twitter. And just reply in there and say, hey, London, it's me, Delvey, and I'll follow you back, and I'll stay plugged in with you a little bit. We can see about getting you up into VIP. But that VIP is the next level up, and that's just for people who've decided that they want the pricing charts, that they want the access to the DM chat, the VIP kind of exclusive area, the exclusive zone in the back. And that's just it's a facilitated, kind of a facilitated thing. In the morning, people get together, and literally it's just they're hitting up all morning long. It's like, what are the trades? What are the pricing targets? Just real big on pricing targets, right? We have people from all over the world, all right? People from literally all over the world. From Australia, we have people from Australia, professionals from Australia. We have, brothers from Michigan. What's up, Remy? How are you, brother? We have Belgium connection. We've just got, great traders. I tell you, we have some military dudes. What's up, Jason? Jason's lit in the house. But we have former JP Morgan and BlackRock analysts. We've got, entrepreneurs, big-time entrepreneurs. The one consistent thread, we have over 100, right, of VIPs. The one consistent is that they all want to beat the market, period. They have decided they want to beat the market. They're going to engage in learning, et cetera, to do that. So that's what the Basecamp is. And, yeah, we appreciate you joining. Congratulations and welcome, right? Congratulations. And, we look forward to you joining to that VIP level, which is, I think you joined at the basic level. But that just lets us know that you kind of belong around here. And we'll be like, hey, where's Delvey at? What's he doing? So, and at some point you'll want to move on up. So we look forward to you doing that sooner rather than later, hopefully. But in the meantime, just enjoy the chats, and we appreciate you're telling us that you're a member of the community. That's a good, positive first move, right? Let's see how to comment. Hey, good. Travis Fry is in the house. Yeah, that's great. Appreciate you being here as well. And just, everyone shout out to Delvey, and make sure you scan that barcode and get over to Twitter. And we'll say hello, and we'll talk about, you upgrading to that. Make the move, brother. We don't have people disappointed. People are hitting pricing targets all the time. And people don't understand. Most of the time they say, well, I've decided to invest in such and such. Well, that's good. That's real good. You got to understand, crypto is not like the stock market. We don't have this element where things just naturally over a 10-year period of time are going to go up, right? And it doesn't really matter. We just have to pick the right investment. No, that's not the case, guys. That is not the case, because the crypto market likes to erase its gains, all right, between 2018, 19, etc. Yeah, it likes to erase its gains, okay? So looks like we got another member. That's nice. What do we got? We got Dre Wolf. What's up, Wolf? Nice to have you. Nice to have you. You can you're signed up along with you're in good company. We just had what do we got here? Delvey Rodriguez and Dre Wolf both joining up to the base camp level. Very nice moves, guys. You're going to enjoy. Dre, if you want to put on some sort of profile picture, something that would be helpful, and make sure you guys have profile pictures, because we have a good group. You'll see the pictures. Those are on the bottom right, the traders. Those are some of the 100 traders that are members at the VIP level. So, yeah, that's kind of the top tier level. I give them pricing targets. I give them all types of information that they've just told me. Essentially, they want that in there in the mix, and it's just a nice way to, what would you say, just to support the community. We absolutely, just to stay involved. We do things like correlative analytics, right? That's a big fancy word, guys. That's like, it's measuring how much the same things are, right? Correlative analytics, right? We just want to talk about how much the same are things, right? What's the level of similarity between things? Because the chart on the left looks almost exactly like the chart on the right. In fact, you could mistake it for them for each other if you didn't know better, if you couldn't really zoom in. It's nice that you're kind of zoomed out, right? Just check it out. The chart on the left is Dogecoin. The chart on the right is BNB, Binance, right? Yeah, so we're going to do the correlative analytics. We're going to choose which one's going to be more profitable to be in. Bottom line, not everyone's going to do that. We do that stuff all day long. We do it on hundreds of coins, right? We do it on hundreds of investments, period. Like I run diagnostics on the entirety of the market makers, backwards and forwards, guys. I'm talking like I spend time, like Saturday, I chewed through about 175 to 125 charts, just bam, getting through it. Woke up and everyone's like, well, London, maybe you need to relax. I got rest or relax. I don't even want to say the word. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the market is here. We got people counting on price action. That's not going to happen, right? So I love the market. I have fun with it. So let's see, between the left and the right, which one do you guys want? Huge differences between the left and the right, between Dogecoin and BNB. Huge. Colossal differences, right? The overall return, one difference, right? Look at Dogecoin. The overall return in around, is it 20,000? Let's just look. Let's just go since, let's say, the last month or so, about a month and a half, about 1,500. Let's go on BNB, about 1,500. Now, it took BNB 3 months to do what Doge did in about 30 days. So it took 30 days for BNB to do what Dogecoin did in 3 months. Since before that time, Doge did about a 10x before that point in time. So Doge outperformed BNB. BNB still did extremely well. I'll tell you, still did extremely well, right? Binance Coin, it's up there. Yeah, it did about, believe it or not, about half as well, okay, which is still impressive. It did about half as well, okay, as Dogecoin did. So, that is what it is. It went from, probably the best way for us to say this, it just, in terms of the time differentiation, et cetera, what you're going to get into, it's just not, what do you say? It went from $10 at the kind of the low in and around March of 2020, but you're going so far back in time, I don't think it's a fair comparison. But if you went from a $10 low or a $7 or $8 or $9 low to up to about $600, yeah, that's a nice move, huh? So again, we always want to, whatever you're involved in, whatever has gotten your fancy, right? You've decided that it's really good, right? And some people say, well, I just believe in it. I really believe that it's going to do well. Well, look at the left and look at the right. Do you think that's people's beliefs, or is that kind of like a program structuring of the market psychology feeding through to pricing? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that because it has a unique utility, or is that more like, well, I think that's kind of like the program kind of what would you say, market mover, market maker kind of application of the principles of appreciation and depreciation of price. It's pretty directly in front of your face, right? So we're going to constantly do analytics on the timing, on the nature of, like, what builds into these. What are the key features of this pricing action to where I can be certain that in the future I'm going to recognize one of these on the front end. And let's say if it's got a bull pennant right here, I'm going to look for these bull pennants. I'm going to comb through hundreds of cryptos looking for the first bull pennant. When I find one, ding, 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 who gets the alert? VIPs. Right on. Yeah, that's why people are in VIP, is because they're going to get the alert. This may break out. We broke out of one today, right? It wasn't this huge in terms of magnitude, but the whole market was down, right? So while the whole market was down, I brought up it was Keep, K-E-E-P, Keep. So I brought that up to the group today, and it was a nice deal, right? It was something that everyone looked at. It was like, wow, the market's down. The market was just it was just one of those days, right? A lot of kind of rebuilding going on. People hitting their pricing targets. So as we look at this, and it's looking like it's got some positive price action again. It's performing well. If you guys have doubled down into it and played your Fibonacci's, you're making cash on it. Very interesting. But yeah, this went up about 20% today. Not sure what your threshold was. It's dropped off since then. It's giving you an opportunity to re-engage your Fibonacci's, right? We always work fibs. We work our Fibonacci's. We just do, right? The 23.6, the 38.2, the 50%. You'll learn these numbers, by the way. It sounds a little confusing, like I'm never going to memorize all those. You don't have to memorize them. They're on your screen. They're literally on your screen, and they have a price next to them. So when you look at the pricing and you say, I need a pricing target, right? I mean, it's going to answer the question as to, well, why is it hung up on this level? Because it's at a Fibonacci. There are orders there. What made it move from here? Well, people entered into this last leg of the Fibonacci, right? Are you sure? Well, it pretty much happens like this all the time, all the time. This targeting mechanism that we go through, the group knows how to target, right? They're going to go through the bottom line, the complete retracement level. They just are. And that's the level of precision that you get, right? It winds up looking like this quite frequently. We have laser scopes all over our, it's just funny. We it's not like a rifle scope, but we wind up with a lot of tactical, tactical hits all over the map, everywhere with anything we invest in. Okay, you'll see these little things all over the place. Most of them I've shared with the VIP in the back room beforehand, and even like on AMC earlier today, we nailed it, guys. We absolutely, and not like Jess knows in town. He's in town, but he definitely knows too. It's like when I talked to him, he's like, yeah, you hit the pricing target. I'm like, yeah, we sure did. And it's nice because the fallout of AMC, you don't know where it's going to go. We knew where it was headed, right? And, enough for me to tell people exactly where it's headed, tell, 100 to, a couple thousand, et cetera, exactly where it's going. And people who I'm going to tell you, it's not just people who are ideologically, they have $1 into it. They want to risk it all with $1. No, I know some people with some cash, right? You guys know this, huh? I know some people with some cash, right? Out of Duke University, I worked, with Tycoon. He put me in charge of a $1 billion equity fund. So my figures, I worked across the table from Harvard. My figures had to be perfect, right? I was working across the table from Harvard. I graduated Duke in 3 years. Economics, markets, and also Romance languages. I'm real good at languages for some reason, and mathematics. But in terms of that, from a young age, I was working on a $1 billion equity fund. I graduated Duke in 3 years. I wanted to conquer the world. And they're like, okay, here, try this. And so that was, I just didn't have an opportunity to be wrong on the financial information on a $1 billion equity fund. I couldn't be wrong. A Harvard institution was talking about $1 billion with me and the company. It had to be perfect. So I was geared that way, and it was drilled into me, guys. It was just kind of like if I'd gone to boot camp or something militarily. It's just that's the way, finances were drilled into me. Like investments and deal making were drilled into me. So, yeah. And to the level, it's nice, though, because it doesn't faze me. It's like, well, we hit a pricing target on AMC. Okay, cool. That's good. But, yeah, you have to understand, London, that's what is it, $10 billion traded hands today. I'm like, well, that's good. That's good. That's good. Could have been 50, right? Or it could have been 200. I don't get fazed by the numbers at all. Since 21, 22 years old, we've been handling big money deals. So that and whatever investment amounts you have, that's your deal. That's not a big deal. I'm not going to say it's not a big deal to me. I'm not going to turn it into a big deal for me. First of all, it's not my account at all. I'm not going to manage it. It's not financial advice. But also with it, it's just, I've worked, directly with like billionaires, and that's just, you guys have too. Some of you guys have handled some big stuff. I'm like talking to some guys was like JP Morgan. They're like, we get it, dude. But you guys, you know what you're doing. And it's nice to have you around OU with all that experience, huh? You you nice analyst, huh? You guys know what you're doing. It's nice to have you around. Legitimately, I say that. I like that. We didn't necessarily get to work together at like JP Morgan or something, but we definitely had some fun, right? We have some fun now, probably in a better context, kind of chilled out. So yeah, our pricing target is just, I know where our target is. It's the green dot, and it's, do I care if it's right here? Well, maybe we can redraw this on a different time frame. We'll get to where it needs to be, because you understand with trading view, it becomes a nightmare sometimes. It changes as you change the time frame. Just be very careful. I just tell you, be very careful, because I'll never draw, like right now I'm doing some comparative analytics. I will never draw. I shouldn't say never, but in terms of looking at, like, if we were to look at Bitcoin. Let me do this BTC here. Let me put Doge over here. I'll never do a split screen. I'm as zoomed in as you could possibly get. So let's see what we got here. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Let me zoom back out a little bit so we can take a look at it. Just, had thrown Bitcoin up, had thrown the AMC up. Bitcoin, it was another one, was just no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. And people are like, well, I mean, look at this move. It was just, I'm like, yeah, it was exactly down. And I had just finished giving like huge tutorials to people on the full expression, essentially this first level, okay? The first level is the 23.6% retracement. What did Bitcoin do? At its peak, it slammed back down into, and it completed the full entirety of its 23.6% retracement. That's the top level. Okay, so that's a big deal that it completed the entirety of this top level, because that told you that this expression is kind of finalized along the top. Not everyone knows that, but when you complete that top level, essentially that's a big indication you're kind of at the top of the expression in terms of the formation. The positive expression of the price. It's telling you it wants to start to retrace. It's giving you this as an indication in terms of you're slamming back into this the bottom of the red level, right? The 23.6. Right? So that's a big like indicator that we discussed heavily, directly. Now, can you find circumstances when it completes the 23.6? It's just the top level of retracement. Sure, you can, and it decides to go up. You can. The probabilities again, guys. I got the chart to the crew today. Based on the probabilities, we're going to retrace some more on Bitcoin. That's just the truth. Based on the probabilities. Why? Because we haven't even hit our golden pocket yet. So the golden ratio is going to want to be. It's going to want to be. It's going to want to achieve. A contact. It's going to want to hit the golden ratio. The golden ratio, guys, the 61.8 to the 65th percentile. Try not to get too technical on you, but that's just what it is. We can visualize it a little easier, and you can say, okay, it wants to go there, right? It literally wants to go here. Now, I can draw it here, We can either go here now, and you guys will know this, we can either go here now or it's going to be a little more painful in the future. If you guys are invested, I'll just tell you, because on the whole, it's going to want to hit its golden pocket. It can either hit it now, or if you guys say, no, it has to go up, it doesn't bother me. Like, I have Bitcoin, it's fine. It'll go up with that. I'm not exposed, like horribly exposed right now. It's more of a matter of convenience, I'd say, right now. Let me see. Where is our... I need to find my scuba mask. Hold on. There it is. Polyline has a scuba mask on it. If it decides to go up like this, I want you to know, when I say it's going to be more painful in the future, at some point, you can mark my words. You don't have to believe them, but I would mark them if I were yours, because the reason this is called a golden pocket is because it's the golden ratio, and things like to hit this level on retracement at some point. So if you do go back up, at some point it's going to want to come back up. It's going to be a higher level, a higher overall price at that point, but it's still going to want to come and achieve your golden pocket. That is a fact, Jack. It's going to want to get down to your golden pocket. It would be a higher number, or higher, let's say at a higher level, then it might be your golden pocket might be 40,000 instead of 24,000. Now, maybe you say that's better. That's better. Well, the problem is you've been up to maybe 106,000. Whoa, so you're going from 106 down to like 40, 41, 38 to 41. So you're going to hit it one day, wherever it is. Why? I'm going to say on the probabilities. The greatest degree of probability is that at some point you're going to hit it. That's just it. That's a fact. Read the literature. Study. Look at go to a community college and study it, much less the guys who are working on the street. You don't think the guys at the big banks all know what the golden pocket is right now? You don't think they understand the main work and thrust of what they've been educated in? They talk about this stuff all the time, guys. This is like bread and butter day in and day out. They don't discuss it much on like CNBC or Market Watch, right? No, they just discuss things like volatility and the need to, maybe distance oneself from the asset class, right? Just something along those lines. So that is that's the way that things, line up kind of behind the scenes. I'll tell you that. It's the truth. In terms of behind the scenes, get into the education. You can, if you want to. We have a lot of the materials that we focus on, and a lot of our people are focused on them, right? It's just the way it is. We want to know what the best in the business know, and some of the guys in the VIP are some of the best in the business. Period. They just are. I've been around the best in the business, and some of them are the best in the business. They're working with the top places right now, and have formerly worked with the top places. Period. Top big investment banks on the planet, right? So that's beyond dispute, right? So that's who we attract, along with everything from business owners to blue collar workers to store owners to man, I've always been big friends of the people who hold the door, from the people who hold the door to to the people who cook my breakfast tacos in the morning. That's the way I am. I feel like some of those people are my best friends, and I at least like to to live life like that. It doesn't matter if I can open the door for you, that's a pleasure for me. If that's your job and you open the door for everybody else, that's kind of how I look at things. Nice approach. I like to take at life like that, because you can get into the Ferraris and everything else, right? So let's see what we have. So that golden pocket on BTC, just be prepared for it. How? Without being fully involved at the current levels. Same thing with Doge. You're like, well, I want to. Well, okay, maybe you wanted to. We didn't necessarily. Why? Because at the height of 75 cents, 74 cents and change, at that height, we were live saying this is over. And we're like, oh, bad person, you. No, guys, we didn't want to lose an immediate. I'll tell you, we did not want to lose an immediate 40% in terms of the value of our holdings. So that's a big deal. Right, so it's just that's a big deal. We didn't want to lose 40% of our holdings. That shouldn't make us unpopular. That should make us very popular with the right group. And I know the guys that are in here now, and you understand that, right? You know, that's a big deal. Typically, like when we talk about you have to understand the strategy. We have backup resource cash. We have heavy amounts of cash on the downside, right? Now, you can book trades. You can paper trade. Some people paper trade. I'm not real big on paper trading. I think you have to kind of have some kind of sting to it. The market will teach you lessons when you lose money. And people who want to invest typically have some money, right? They don't make decisions to invest with no money. You know, unless they have some agenda or something else is, I don't know. But typically people will invest. They'll have some money to invest, right? So it's just a matter of how people go amount up or amount down, you know, with their, I'd say their resource cash, right? What is resource cash? What's your backup resource cash? That's your guarantee in the market as much as you could want one mathematically, right? Mathematically, you can do the calculations, and your resource cash, it's your insurance, guys. It's you guaranteeing to you and the world and your family and everybody else that you're not going to get washed out. You having this heavy amount of cash in the lower levels, right? Yep. Yeah, you're going to have this heavier on the lower levels. Okay? And what is that going to do? Well, that's going to turn you into the smartest guy in the room. I'm just telling you, right? It's going to turn you into the smartest guy in the room because you're going to demand that and it's real easy, huh? You say that, you start thinking, well, that's business. That's econ. Right. You're going to demand what? With your resource cash, you're going to demand that the price get down here. And it sounds interesting because you would literally see, you would see that and be like, well, that does sound like a demand. You're going to demand, that the price get all the way down there, even below the golden pocket? Wow. Huh? Now, you may have a demand at the golden pocket, right? You may, right? Because you may experience some positive price from there. You may have a good move from there. You may even have a little bit of demand, I'd say, up at the current level, right? Maybe not as much, right? But you'd have some demand in line with the kind of the demand curve. You'd say, yeah, it's not super, I'd say reasonable in terms of pricing, but I might have a little bit of demand up in here. Kind of play the float for a minute, whatever price we're at. Let's go ahead and play that level of the float wherever we're at in terms of pricing. If it decides to move up, hey, that's great, right? If it decides to move up to that level, let's just take a look at visually. What would that mean? Let's see how we could draw that out kind of visually. If we were involved let me see. Yeah, if we were involved, if we decided to get involved just a touch here in this level on the right, yeah, we have a small level of exposure here. All right, well, if it decided to go up to this level, if it did, that's okay. That's okay, right? Now, the big question is, if we could get the bulk of our capital at the lower level and fill those orders in at this lower level, okay, which, guys, I'll just tell you, you can say whether or not it's at the golden pocket or whether or not it's below, okay? If it's at the golden pocket and it's all your cash, you're probably going to be compromised on your volume. The breadth of your holdings, okay, is going to be a little bit different, okay? The breadth of your holdings are going to be different. Why? Because you achieved a higher price. At a lower price, watch this, guys, at a lower price, the breadth of your holdings, the volume that you hold is going to be a broader base of holdings, guys, because you achieve more stock, more coins, etc. So when you have more of a breadth of your holdings, watch what happens at a lower price. Then, let me go ahead and hit the rectangle. Then if you have a higher breadth of your holdings, just understand, well, then, if and when then things decide to go back up, if and when they go back up, you have to understand, then this is your profit. You understand now, huh? Now you get it. You see? Now, you can go back to currently where you're at right now, and you can say, well, right now we have some exposure, right? Why would you keep this towards the bottom? Well, here, the breadth of your holdings at this current level, at the level of pricing, you have a functional limitation to some degree in terms of how much you can afford at this level. I mean, everyone from the big institutions to BlackRock to the to Soros to whomever else may be involved in investing. I have no idea, nor do I judge anybody on investing. Do what you want. If it's legal there, go for it. Have fun. Now, I don't make any comments on anything like that. So, clearly. So, as we look at this situation, you're going to be able to have, you're going to increase the volume of your holdings at the lower level. Because your $10,000, your $10 million, whatever it is, it's going to cover more volume. So, well, if you did put it, in here, I'll tell you, if you did try and really stretch it out up here, all right, great. I'm going to put in all my cash in here. It's still only going to afford you. It's not going to afford you anywhere as near as much down here. You're getting a better price. You're getting more stock, more assets, okay, more functional coins, whatever it is, right? So even if you did say, I'm maxing out in here, this is all I have, right? This is all I have. I'm putting it all in here. It's still going to look like this down below. You're going to have more in terms of your ability to buy more. It's going to be at a lower price. It's going to be like a third of the price. Let's say if it's $8,000. Let's say 8 times, almost, guys, you would multiply it almost a fifth of the price. Look at this. If you could really achieve these levels down here again, 7,000 to 8,000 instead of like 40,000, right? That's like a fifth of the price. Yeah, so take this right here and multiply it. Look at this, guys. You understand? You would literally multiply it by 5. That would be your purchasing power at this lower level rather than where you're at right now. You guys let that sink in. You could either buy this right here, which is about a fifth of what you could buy something down here. Now, not that you're necessarily going to get it filled, but pay attention to the logic. Because if you have a fifth as much, go ahead on up with it. Go ahead and invest everything. What's going to happen? Well, I'm going to have that. Oh, okay, good. That's impressive, huh? Now, you're dealing with something that's highly volatile, right? Yeah, you're dealing with something that's highly volatile. So check it out. If instead you said, okay, fine, London, I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to kind of, go real lightly in here. I'm going to go with the idea that maybe it's going to go down, at least to his golden pocket. I'll at least double or triple my exposure. All right, go with the example that at the lower price of 8,000, you'd be able to afford 5 times as much as you would at 40,000. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much. And then if you can find a way to get that back up to the top, then you've got that amount of cash. That's the kind of visual representation. If that's all green cash, if that's all solid profit, that makes sense to me. That instead of this, guys, I think we've made some sense, right? Yeah, you tell me which one you want. It's all profit. You want the small little chunk, or you want this? Look at that, guys. Your profit's going to be just immensely more. Not only is it the 5 times more, it is a multiple of that. Because you've got 5 times more purchasing power, right? Then you also have, guys, in so many ways it compounds, right? Just enjoy it. I won't get too far into the mathematics in terms of what all it represents, but you have the entire distance from here, right? You have that whole, it's nice, guys. You'll have to do the advanced. Well, we can do the calculations if you want to. It's just you at least have 5 times the profits, right? When I start doing heavy math, I have some videos on that stuff. People don't like to watch it. They're like, do you want to make another video? I'm like, you're just asking that because you don't like to watch it. They're not fun to make. Some of the guys push me. I'm like, yeah, come on. You know better than that, huh? So, yeah, we want that lower cost basis. I don't want to start doing computations here, right? We can. I'm good at math. I don't know why. Advanced calculus. Yeah, we can do it if you want to. I'd prefer not to. So that's the bare bones. That's the easy stuff. We want this right here. Bam. We don't just want this. Yeah, that's weak, huh? Yeah, that's weak, huh? We don't want that at all. So Yeah, that's the way that we're looking at things. That's what we got going on. Josh, good evening to you, brother. I hope you sleep well. Nice to see you. Nice to have you here. We're going through some important things in terms of I brought and what can happen? Well, I tell you what, if you threw all your money into it, you could go up to there. What could also happen? Well, if you decided to go down, you could go to this real quickly. Right? You could go to that real quickly. That's the problem with this equation. If you moved, you might go to there. But if you moved negatively, you could very quickly go to that. And that's no good. And that feels like that. It feels like, well, we had some green and it's gone. You start looking at it, it's just you're not being a good steward of your money. I mean, in a lot of different ways. It's like you're not even trying to demand more at a lower level. Try it. Have you tried to demand more at a lower level? I mean, I would just say, have you tried to demand more at a lower level? Ever? You guys, in your career, have you put an order in to demand something and say, I want this. My demand is that I want this number of coins or this stock filled at this price, and I'm going to sit on it for a week. If you have never done that, then I'm going to say it's going to be difficult to imagine that maybe you're gauging it differently, and maybe you do have that component, but you're only playing that out once you've really made the decision, right? There's a different kind of level of a decision, right? Maybe that's what's going on. But for you not to deploy orders telling the market maker, the guy in charge of the market, I have a demand right here. I want the lower price. You give me this lower price. This is what I demand. This is how I'm participating in demand. You give him your limit order. No, I'm going to spend $100,000. Or if it's $100 or $100,000, whatever it is, I'm going to spend $100,000 at $8,000. That's it. I want Bitcoin. I want to buy $100,000 worth at $8,000. That's just it. Now, will it get there? I don't know. We'll see. What about okay, fine. I'll spend $25,000 at $25,000. I've decided at $25,000 I'm going to spend $25,000. I want to buy one at $25,000. That's fine. Or maybe you want to buy 10 at $25,000, and you want to buy 100 at $8,000. Whatever it is. When it goes cold, guys. You know that, huh? And you'll just see the way that things work is even something that you would say, well, everyone's going to have demand at, right? What would you guys think? Everyone's going to have demand at 8,000, London. That's crazy. It'll never, oh, really? Are you sure? Okay, well, that's great if you have a demand at $8,000 and it slowly wants to rebuild and they decide to bring it back up like that. That's going to be a lot of green, right? You say, but it won't get there. Well, are you sure? Because it just went from 64,000 to 36,000. And as we look back at the charts, it's been to 3,500 twice since 2018. So, yeah, but that was during a crash. What is this? Right? So, anyway, that's just a little bit of talk in terms of framing your mind correctly around the demand curve. Do you have one? You do. Whether or not you express it appropriately in the market, we can help with the refinement of that. We can help with putting it into the terminology or into the market maker at a level that we think is rational. And it's always going to be your decision, but we can at least help frame that thinking. Right? Not being overexposed at the top. Who wants to be overexposed at a high price? No one who's rational. That's an easy question. We don't want to be overexposed at a high price. Never. Like never, right? No, I own it at too expensive of a price. No. So we go through those diagnostics early on. We talk about the fact that we just don't want to be involved in it. I mean, it's contrary to the demand curve. Right? No, set your orders lower. Demand a lower price. See if he'll get to a level of the Fibonacci along the way when the heat's on, when the sky is falling down, right? Yeah, when the sky is falling down, you look at it differently if you have an order down here. Oh, I hope he gets my order. I hope he gets it. Why? Because you have more cash there. and you're ready, on the aggregate, you're excited about getting picked up at this lower level here, and you have a multiple of it down here below. If they can only get down there, it'd be really nice. Why? Because, I don't know, it's already been up pretty high, right? This market likes to repeat a lot. It likes to repeat a lot in terms of price action to the upside. So, yeah, I'll work with the pricing behavior. I'll work with, let's say, the cyclical components. I like the cycles it goes through. I understand that each cycle is kind of an isolated event, technically speaking. But on the whole, the cyclical events kind of tell me that this thing likes to kind of run up, right? So if I buy low, I'm probably going to do okay. If I structure my cash in any kind of crypto, guys, in Doge, and Doge has a chance of being a little different, which is nice. But if I structure my cash on the low side here, and this is the same for anything, guys, from bullion to stocks or derivatives, it's just, I can eclipse the entire amount of this if I can get in at a broader level at the bottom, and my money will spread out across a little bit. I'd say a lot more efficiently, right? It's just the discipline. You have to have the discipline to have the demand at lower levels. It sounds so easy, because what do they say? Well, you have to buy low to sell high, right? It's so intuitive. It just breaks the brain, huh? I mean, it literally, what is it about it? It's so intuitive that you have to have your cash available for lower to deploy at lower prices, right? To go ahead and throw into the mix at these lower levels. Beautiful. Just wait. Because the alternative is that, well, let's go ahead and put all the cash in at this level. Well, then what happens? Well, it decides to go, it decides to go down. And all of a sudden it looks like, from what it looked like there to, well, now it's just, oops, it's all the way down. And that's when people just, well, we have a little green, might as well take something while we have it left. And they never make it back up through this part and this portion, or they have to wait a year to get back to the portion. Well, now we're back up into here, right? So it's just, I do that as an example. Just look at the surface area, right? So always with heavy cash on the downside, so that when those orders get filled down here, if you don't already have those, you probably sold if you know what you're doing in the market as well. You've probably sold and you're waiting to get picked up at one of these, lower levels. It's easy. That's your demand. You want to buy low to sell high, and bam, you just take that off the screen. That's all cash. You get ready to buy again low. Great. It's going to work its way up, and bam, just take that off the screen. That's going to be another big, huge account of cash. That's the idea. That's the strategy. Buy low, sell high. Realize the profits. Realize the gains. What does profit require? It requires that you sell high, period. Higher than what you bought it at, guys. Okay, if you buy low, sell high, you have to do it in that order unless you're doing options. We don't deal with a whole lot of options. I can play things straight up. I can't necessarily compete with everybody across the board on options. You guys know I wouldn't claim to do that. But on the whole, I'm not going to have a Hiroshima event. They are. And so I always ask them, is that how much you're worth? Huh? You made 10 grand yesterday or something. Okay, is that how much you're worth? They take offense to it. I'm like, I just mean, like when I'll pick them up on a bad week or a bad day when they have a really bad week, and I'm like, yeah, you see what I meant? Like, is that what you're worth, right? Because that 10 grand every week or that 5 to 12 grand every week, it's not worth this week, is it? And it just, they look at me like, no, it's not. I see what you meant, when you said, am I worth that? Like, yeah, because it makes you feel like your whole life is over. It's not good. People lose their relationships, lose their wives, lose their jobs, lose everything, right? It's tough. I don't like losing friends like that. And it's not because, anything I said. I'm to the contrary. I'm the one that the whole time saying, why don't we just get an Excel spreadsheet? Why don't we plug that into your trading platform? Why don't we make sure this works, right? So, and that almost makes things worse sometimes because, people do the level of diligence that they want. People are going to do the diligence. The levels of diligence that they want, you can't do it for people. Let's do a quick review. It looks like things are kind of starting to turn a little bit green. Taking a look at Bitcoin, just because it's a market leader, it's up about a percentage point. And the question is going to be, can it turn to the upside significantly? There'd be a significant move if it could. It would be against the probabilities. All right, if it can do that, it would be against the probabilities. That's just the bottom line. Can it still happen? Of course it can still happen, right? That'd be great to see it happen. I'd love to see that happen. I would not wager money on it, and I think it would be a wager to say that it's going to happen. Will people be excited? Of course, and they'll all tell you guys, this is it. All of them will all tell you that they told you so. Me, I'm going to be the one who told you that, well, I just gave you the probabilities. Yeah, you can go ahead and look it up. There's probably, half a dozen doctoral theses that from major Ivy Leagues that support my position. So I'll continue to stick with my position. But, but everyone who, every single one of the people, if it breaks to the upside, they're going to be completely right. And if it breaks to the downside, they're going to say, you see, I did tell you so. I'm not in that boat. I'm going to stick with the literature on point, with the literal, graduate studies. Like, go to Harvard Library. It's the Bloomberg building up there, okay? It's a nice place. I studied there. Just go there. Read the books there. See the way this is on the probabilities, the way it's supposed to work. Can it cut across the probabilities? Probably so. Is El Salvador gonna be the big break here that the whole world on Bitcoin needed? Well, I don't know, guys. I mean, it's El Salvador, right? That's almost, let's say if the U.S. would have done it, if the U.S. would have done it, then would have said, yeah, Bitcoin is official currency. If Biden, if the commander-in-chief would have said that, then I'd say we'd probably have a discussion, right? That this would clearly, I would say that's a real strong indication. That's real strong news. We could expect something like this to really move, right? Yeah, but that's El Salvador. I don't know that El Salvador is going to turn around the Bitcoin market. Maybe that with some other institutional planning can do it. But, you see what I'm saying? It's not like a G7. It's not like a, you get it, right? It's not to speak poorly of El Salvador. They have a lot of challenges right now. The IMF is coming out and saying that it may actually represent a bigger risk to El Salvador. Right? You would expect the IMF to potentially say something like that from an institutional kind of governance, monetary governance standpoint. They may not want to lose, I'll tell you, they don't want to lose necessarily, their framework of currency kind of domination, right? I don't think they have to worry about that. Believe it or not, I don't think they have to worry about that. Like, regulation can come like a 10-ton truck at this whole deal if they want it to. It's not about that. People, may read into that. And then you have the people who just, well, no, you can't regulate it. China wants to regulate it. Yeah, they do, huh? China's come out with the digital yuan, huh? Yeah. So the U.S. is already talking about coming out with a digital dollar. So we're in the market. We enjoy trading. We're going to make money when it goes up. We're going to make money when it goes down. Just like AMC today, yesterday, AMC went down. We gave out pricing targets for a positive trade. You could have played options off that. People did. They made money. They were in the money heavily. So we can trade anything. That's the idea. When you feel like you have to make money in the market, that could be one of the biggest defeating factors. I just want to bring that up. When you feel like, from a retail standpoint, you're a retail investor and you have to make money. That is very difficult, guys. That puts a lot of pressure on you, a lot of untoward pressure. Yeah, you don't want that, right? We don't. That's one of the worst feelings you can have, is you have to wake up and you have to make money. Yeah, that's not easy, huh? It's just not. So that's my goal for you guys, is that you don't have to worry about that stuff. Is you just kind of relax and have a good time. Look at Chris in the house. What's up, brother? Book those positive trades. You get it, don't you? Chris, I don't know if you just showed up. We've been going through did you just show up? What's up, Chris? Good evening. Good evening, sire. How are you? What do you got? Agree London can't let emotion get involved. Absolutely. Did you just show up? Let's see. Did you just show up? Or you been here a minute? Because we went through some good stuff on Bitcoin. I want to show it to you. If you just showed up, I want to go over it. I think you will like it. And I wonder where Angel is. What's Angel up to? We got Delvey in the house. I think he joined his base camp. I'll go ahead and follow him on Twitter. Put a profile picture up if you can. That'd be great. We'd love to see that. And let me go ahead and get into the discussion. Let's see. Just did was out with clients. Not good. Great. I hope everything with your clients went really well, Chris. It's great to have you. Welcome back. And Chris, what I was talking about was the distribution of your cash. Thank you, taking off 9-1. I appreciate that. You'll like it here. It's a good place. We have VIP level of membership, top level with exclusive perks, etc. Pricing targets, all different kinds of stuff. Left hand side is right now Bitcoin. We'll put let's put Doge on the left and put Bitcoin on the right. We're talking about correlations, going through correlative analysis earlier on. Just some real. I'll just throw it up real quickly so we can go through. I want to catch up Chris. He is a cool brother. He's a cool guy. He is a friend of mine. Let's see what we got here. Of a lot of people in the VIP. It's great to have him. BTC. We're gonna put that. Let's put BNB on the right hand side. We had gone through, Chris, to look at the correlatives of the chart on the left and the chart on the right, and just discussing the difference of clearly Dogecoin on the left and BNB on the right. We went through the kind of some diagnostics and some wave theory, just a little bit of wave theory, but price pattern, kind of volatilities, etc. Why do we choose what we choose? Because they look real similar, don't they? Timing, okay. If we isolate, each individual graph, we look at the timing. What is the express potential of the price action on each one? Different factors like stability also may figure into it. One may be like BNB happened over a period of months. Since January this happened, whereas Dogecoin since like April this happened. So whereas a period of this occurred within a period of like 2 months for Dogecoin. With BNB, these are just two very popular coins, two of the most popular, really. This was 129 days, right? 130 days. So, yeah, you're looking at a significant amount of time there. So, we just talked about correlatives, right? A little bit of correlative analysis, kind of borderline into either a diversification or a hedge theory, right? Getting in line with that. To the extent to which a timing differential kind of combined with a stability argument could figure in with a hedge component is a little bit advanced, but clearly you can you're down with that, Chris. So, and not to state the obvious, but that's what we start to look at are things like, well, which one is the good investment? And I like to bring this up because well, clearly, Doge is the good investment, right? Well, are you sure? Huh? We can talk about the overall returns, but it's close. It's at least close, right? You've gone from $30, from $30 in December, from 30 to 600, right? That's like a 20x, right? Now Doge was like 100, right? So yeah, Doge is better. Technically speaking, it's a different dynamic though. So even, BNB has had a great time. I just wanted to bring up those correlatives. In all the different variables, you can do a kind of a variable analysis on everything, but we get so tied up in we get so tied up in the story, in the technology, in the kind of the fundamental approach or the whatever the story is. We become such big believers on it. Not here so much, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm looking at the price action of the one on the left, the one on the right. I'm going to decide which has better price action for the next week. And I do these types of analytics on all the coins, right? On everything. That's how I choose kind of what to bring. And it has to be kind of, it has to be at a level that we can all kind of understand it. So that was one thing that we went through. We went through some pricing targets on Doge, but definitely the correlatives. Then we looked at ADA. And then, Chris, I wanted to just shout this out to you. I think that you'll appreciate this. This is very good that we discuss this now. Where is ADA? There we go. ADA has the beautiful history of having been to over $1. It had gone up to, let's look at the candlesticks on it. I don't think you'll forget this discussion. I think you know this. Not everyone does. ADA in 2018 was at $1.40 and went down to like 2 or 3 cents. From $1.40 to 3 cents for a period of time. For the entirety of 2019, for over a year and like a half, right? Almost 2 years. It literally stuck at 2 cents after being at $1.40. Now, we're through the roof again. Okay, so it has a history one time of already going back down to close to nothing. So where do we stack our cash just in case history repeats itself? Just in case it decides to repeat itself. Yeah, I think we would want to stack it as lowly as we could, right? As low of a price potential as possible. Why? You can stack it if you want to. If you want to stack in your cash up here, go for it. If you want to do that right now up at the top, go for it. Now, what's the problem? Well, when you take this down here, all right, you can kind of take this down here. It's going to really feel like it's turned into, into about that down here. Or if not completely disappeared, you're gonna be upside down at big time, right? It's going to be difficult down here. So you don't want to be overexposed at this top level. The goal is essentially, the real reason why too, even if you were to come up to a higher level here, the base which you're going to be able to afford, and I'll tell you I like this in terms of the ability to conceptualize this. Now, what you're going to be able to afford up here is going to be something about like that. All right? And around $1.50. The amount of volume you're going to be able to afford down here, on the other hand, is going to look something like this. All right? Now, just compare this up here of what you can place all your cash into at that level versus the one down here. Like, well, hold on. There's going to be stacked multiples in terms of your volume exposure at the lower level, which if we say, well, and then it went up to here, it sure did. Then all of that volume went up to there. You see why we stack at the lower levels? Yeah, you see, now we're talking, right? That whole amount is going to go up to there. So when we even draw this out over here or something, and we say, okay, at the top levels, we just don't have that much demand. We always stack our cash at the lower levels. And you can get involved at the golden pockets, etc. You can work your fibs and double. When I say double and triple down, boom, boom, we're keeping that cash at the lower levels. Because this market likes to repeat. It likes these run-ups, and it likes to go down. We've already gone down. We've already gone down in Doge. We've been down 50% in Bitcoin, right? So, yeah, I mean, the point is, can you sit? Cardano is beautiful because you can't find too many charts that talk about 2018 and the fact it already went down to 2 cents. No, they'll conveniently leave that off. You have to really hunt around and say, oh, wow, okay, yeah. So when it's gotten up to this level, like it's already been to over $1, it's already gone to 2 cents. I wanted it 2 cents, like if anything. But, I have an interesting background with Cardano. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people are fans of it. But when we look at the exposure now, you wanted to pick this up at this level. Why? You have more exposure in terms of volume, right? Then, yeah, you demand that. Make sure that's a part of your demand, right? As you're down in this level on the Fibonacci's, right? As you're down in this level in the Fibonacci's, that's why we're constantly with heavier cash down in these levels. Just telling them, this is our demand down here. We're not moving. It's just we're immobile down here. Why? Because we're going to achieve down here this spread, which you want to pick this up, and it's fine if it's going to take a while, huh? It's going to take however long it takes to get back up there. When it gets back up there, it's going to be some volume in the account getting back up there. That's the way to play this, like 8 days a week, right? That's the way to play this. Now, you're still going to have a little bit of, just a little bit of exposure. The problem is, even if you were to leverage in everything, if you were to leverage in the same amount of money up here, well, the problem is it's going to look about like that. Just functionally, if you look functionally, the amount that this would be at a higher price is going to equal something about like that. And that's fine if you want to go up. That's great. I want to take this up. Same amount of capital, different timing, and ability to reach this level. You just came off of this level in here. It wasn't that long ago. So you have to include the possibility of this being around or some relatively kind of reminiscent zone, right? Some relatively kind of equivalent zone at some point in time. We know things like to hit the golden pocket, right? Absolutely. So in terms of demanding a low price, I mean, Bitcoin is a great example. Dogecoin's a great example of, yeah, those profits are there. Like Doge, 10x, 100x, like that's real money if you're able to get in at a lower level. Now, you may not get in at this full lower level. Maybe, if you were to get in here, maybe you're limited in terms of the volume exposure. You could go back up like, about like that. That surface area kind of represents what you're looking at. Maybe you decide, I'm going to not even throw it all in at the golden pocket. But I'm going to go heavier. I'm going to like double, triple down, right? Let's say I go in at this level. That's the 38.2. Yeah, at the next level down, I'm probably going to, maybe double that. Let's say I'll double that down. And the next level, maybe I'll triple, right? Something in line with what we say. Upside potential, boom, right? Upside potential, next level, boom. Stacking your cash, your exposure, boom. Right? And bottom line exposure, just essentially this. So you don't have to completely eliminate these higher levels, but it just makes sense because every dollar that you have, it buys more down at these levels, irrespective. And when you compound in the amount that you're buying, you multiply the amount that you are buying at these lower levels. We don't have to go through the mathematics. I've kind of stayed away from anything calculative on purpose. I want to give just visual representations of things. Essentially, your volume exposures much bigger on the downside. These things like to repeat. It's already been the big news for Cardano. It's been up to $1.40 down to 2 cents. It's just the variability of the asset. It is what it is. And the hardest thing in the world is if it were 2 cents to say, well, yes, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some resource cash into it. But you get to the point where you don't need to throw. I mean, you get to a level where it's very unpopular, where hopefully people are they're not in the position where they don't have the cash anymore. That's the biggest problem. You're in a position you don't have the cash anymore. It's like, oh man, you got to have the cash. You got to be able to play the market. Wham. And then you kind of chill. So we do this on multiple coins. That's the kind of the exposure kind of rationale. Enough up here. I mean, I'm going to tell you enough to we're going to have fun with it. We're going to do something, have some exposure, trade the market. We love the market, but heavy resource cash down below. We have to profit, like excessive profits, like, a good profit equation are going to demand that we take notice of that. So that's the whole rationale. I wanted to bring up Cardano, and I did earlier on. I wanted to bring it up to you, Chris, and it was maybe a little bit more eloquently stated beforehand, but I'm glad you're here. I hope you had fun with your clients, brother. Yeah, I bet you did. So that's what we do. Not that Cardano's not going to be phenomenal. It could be the next huge next big thing. We hope it is. That's a heck of a. Pardon me. I'm sorry about that. Pardon my language. That's a heck of a kind of parabolic trajectory there, isn't it? It's not bad, huh? And it has fought the fight here relatively well in terms of the retracement. I've brought that up to some individuals. Someone I think took my ideas and ran it on some big show. That's fine. 20 or 30 people. No, 20 or 30,000 I think people saw it. Not a problem. We'll stick with the 20 or 30 people good that are good people in this room. So as we look at this, like it's the same as Doge on the left. It's retraced a little bit. Less. It showed some more strength. So we'll still do the correlatives. Looks like Cardano is kind of outperforming. Less of an overall percentage gain. So the volatility may actually be a good thing. You're actually getting it at a better price. That's what the other stations didn't get when they took my work. I'll share it with you, Chris, because you're here. You get that? Yeah, because Doge has, and not everyone's going to get that. Well, Doge does have the upside volatility, okay, and it is at a cheaper price right now. Ding, ding, ding. So yeah, they can take our work, but they can't take the brains behind it, right? So yeah, it's just the market. It's what we look at. So yeah, advantage, right or left? Well, we want to make money on this. Well, I know you do, huh? So you want to put more of your cash in up here, huh? Is that what you want to do? Well, I mean, yeah, it's good. It's going to go up. Well, that's good, huh? You're going to do that, huh? Whereas this one, you might have an opportunity to get an asset similarly situated. You might be able to get, I don't know, maybe you could pick up something at a better price and it has more volatility. Oh, that's real good. Which one would you rather have? So just considerations to go through. And let's see, just general ideas of thought. So we went through that. We went through, let's see, pricing targets. We've been through just the visual representation. Just understand that exposure, right? The breadth of exposure is a big deal. So B&B, correlative, timing, differentials, isolation within that of the specific periodic movements, the pricing movements. Let's see. BTC has been charting its own territory, which has been nice to see, just because it hasn't needed to do that, right? We talked about, I sent to you, Chris, and everybody else, that the odds are against this moving up. It just is. If it decides to move up, great. If it can do that, I'll be the one at the dinner party being like, well, I just kind of follow I follow traditional, standard of the industry technical. So, that's just, I guess they decided to make a volcano that was going to take care of the mining issue. Who would have thought? Yeah, we'll see how that works out. I hope it works out phenomenally well, but, it's kind of like, all right, maybe that doesn't fit within the framework of the standards of technical analysis. It's another news event. I'm not sure that El Salvador is going to save the market. It's kind of like a news event that, if it would have been the U.S. or G7, right, maybe it would have really pushed things, right? Some sort of World Economic Forum with all the world leaders. Yeah, something like that. It could have been interesting, right? Like, 3, European nations or the EU has decided. Yeah, something like that. Okay, count on the reversal. I think it's nice. We just look at technicals irrespective of that, and we're not in a great technical pattern. We're just not. We're in a technical pattern that is already broken one time, 2 times, 3, and it can keep going for a while. So if it wants to do that and look for good news, it can kind of do that. It could express itself that way, that way. We still have not hit. If I can speak, we still have not hit. Excuse me. I think it's this music. I need to get past this music. What do we got? Let me find good tunes. Okay. We have not hit the golden pocket. The golden pocket is circa 22.3 or 24.3. About 22,000 to 24,000. It hasn't hit it, and it likes to hit it. It just does. So the fact that it hasn't, I'm just going to say that it's kind of indicative of the fact that it needs to. We don't have to hit it right now. At some point, I think we're going to hit it. The probabilities tell me that, yes, we're going to hit that, right? At some point, it's going to want to express itself through hitting the golden ratio. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a completely normal thing to happen. So that's how that's clearly I don't mind sending something out to the VIPs and everyone else saying the probabilities are that we are going to achieve more negative pricing. It's going to be an achievement because it's going to allow us to pick up a greater volume or a greater breadth of volume to profit. That's the way we look at it. It's just a rational market player is going to have more, market participants going to have more demand at lower levels, right? Absolutely. If it can't get down to this level, I just tell you, we're going to have, I have cash, like heavy resource cash available for this level. Heavy resource cash carried up to this level probably would have gotten rid of it at this level. Definitely wouldn't have wanted to carry this down at all. When heavy resource cash knew the entirety of like wave theory that this thing was gone, I mean, it didn't take a genius to look at the slope here. And, I was doing, individual lessons, etc., with the fact that next move is here. And then the next move, and everyone's like, what do you mean the next? Because none of this was here, right here. I was like, the next move is here. And they're like, whoa, what do you mean the next move is? I said, the next move is going to be here. I did tell them after that the next move is going to be somewhere like this. And the level of this is going to depend. But as you look at this, we know for a fact, just with wave theory, you do Elliott 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC if you want to. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And I was, clearly at this level, things got too anxious. That it's over. It is over. Boom, boom. That's all we waited for was, that's it. And we got it just right in line. I've got some old videos, things just teaching about, but it's just standard pattern wave theory. So, the retracement, that's just what we're into. Is it very much different than the one on the left? Not much. Than Dogecoin? Not a lot. A little bit, We have this first level, is that the 1, 2, 3? Maybe the 1, 2, 3 from Elliott. Maybe, yeah. First kind of triangulated kind of pennant. They say the flags fly at half mass. I don't know if you know that, Chris, but since you're here, that's what they say in technical analysis, is the flags fly at half mass. Okay? That's just an indicator that all that's saying is that these flags that are formed, they fly at half mass because when you look at a pricing target, it's normally this first leg up, right? Yeah. And so that'll be accomplished again, typically. That's why they say the flags fly at half mass. When you get up in here, the flag is going to fly at a total of half mass. All right, so that's the terminology on the street that's used. I don't know if you've run into that yet, but that's I don't know. You may hear around at that. I don't know. I think, but that's kind of standard. Flags fly at half mass, and it's indicative of the fact of how much you can count upon this second move here. Same here. Flag flying at half mast, about halfway point, right? So, yeah, that level of predictability, is built into the formations. These formations on kind of the bullish side of things. So, that's really nice. That's kind of where we're at, and we went through some accumulative, and you guys know. I'm accumulating. That's what the zone I'm into a Doge. It's just an easy, even keeled kind of investment. It's not real aggressive. It's fun when it decides to do something. There's definitely enough time dealing with Doge to deal with anything else you'd like to deal with, without a doubt. It's not over cumbersome, and it's just it's a phenomenal crypto right now. Keeps things light and just if it underperforms and allows more people to get in at these lower levels, somehow I just kind of believe that's part of the price pricing dynamic. It's done that in the past. Everyone's like, certainly has. with this big gulch we got into. It just, I mean, it just was, right, for a really long time. What is this? That gulch, it just doesn't seem like that big of a gulch now, but that was just a really, really, not sought after kind of time frame. If we get into another time frame like that we can describe as being that's really not sought after, like our demand for that time frame is like out the, like, no thank you. But in the context of that, it has a habit of really overperforming, so I don't really mind it. And the guys, I just say, the people that I've spoken to beforehand about this at like 007, and at like then after, before just 7, it was different people, like iBankers, JP Morgan crowd, directors or managers. I mean, come on. I'm sitting there telling them about Dogecoin, like, oh, yeah, sure. But I'm like, you should check the chart out. I mean, it's a pretty good chart. And they look at it like, well, actually, that does look good. I'm like, yeah. They're like, would you send me that? And so I talked to a lot of them before it was like a 10 or 100x, and just different people. And so most of them are just like, come on, because they know how well it has done. But it's in a position where you had to cut it loose, right? We cut it loose live on tape, just boom, that's it. We were live trading it, and that's about everything we've been through on this. Is like immediately redeploying our fibs. That's an easy one, right? Anytime there's an intermittent new high, looks like you're going to have a retracement cut, you're out, and if you want to leave a little residual in just to kind of enjoy price action. You may have a stack that goes in at a lower level that never gets touched. You may throw your, a 10 grand stack into a lower level and never touch it, right? But you're not going to be sitting there talking about, well, I'm still holding. It's different, right? You got a stack that just never gets touched. That's part of like a long-term kind of, and you that's always within your purview to do what anyone would choose to do on that. But you can play with some different stacks with an asset that you like in terms of covering out like your heavy resource cash. Well, maybe you play like a 2 stacks of 10 G's, 1 stack of another one I'm gonna put 100 G's in, and a few more I'm gonna put maybe 25, then 75. That's it. On one of them, or I'm gonna say 5% is going towards something that's never gonna move, right? However you would do that. Maybe the numbers are, maybe it's $500 instead of $5,000. Maybe it's $5 instead of whatever it is. It's not advice. That's just working on the calculations and the different. What would you say? The different the different calculators, the profit, the mechanisms of profit, I would say. And the variabilities in terms of how you can structure that out. That's part of the fun, that's part of the equation. So let's see what we got in the chats. Hopefully that kind of caught you up just here real quickly. Joyride in the house. What's up, Joyride? Right, Jason is also here. Drill Doc. What is going on? Yeah, Delvey, I think, let's see. He says you're ready, VIP. Delvey just joined VIP. Let's see if he did. Well, heck yeah, you did. Nothing happened. I gotta roll out the red carpet because I was busy looking at the charts. Delvey, welcome. I have to roll the tunes for you, bro. Yeah, you guys maybe we got to go with this. I got to roll this one out because this is a big deal. He's a new heavy hitter. I gotta put up a what are we gonna do on the welcome to Dogecoin? We can do this. He wants to learn to trade, right? Yeah. Whoa. Let me turn this volume up. We made this. I just skipped forward on it. I should not have done that. That's my fault. Well, I'll let you watch it again. It's kind of cool, huh? Dogecoin day traders. Just because we hedge with Doge. We have fun with it. And then I'll say new VIPs. That's you. You got to go to Twitter, okay? All right, so you got to go to Twitter, and I think you already have. This music is going to cut out. That's my fault. Welcome to the VIP. I am not your DJ. This song is kind of rocking, though. It sounds like kind of cool stuff. We try and keep it cool, bro. I mean, we try and keep it real cool. Like from the fresh, visuals, everything else, boom. That's going to be you. Welcome to the crew. All right, what I'm going to say is VIP in the house. The guy you see on your screen right now, that kid on the bottom, I taught him sessions. I gave him alpha training. The guy on the bottom there, he's from Belgium. We have guys like 24/7 around the world that are geared towards beating the market. So I'm going to plug you in to Twitter DM. I need you to definitely change up your profile picture, because I don't see a profile picture on here now, right? So I need a profile picture here. Can you take care of that for me? That'd be great. I see you have a profile picture, and then I'll put you into the lists, exclusive lists. Let's add in you right here. There we go. I have added you in to the VIP exclusive list. I'm going to put you into the chat right now as well, so that you are set up. It's going to be great. Let me go ahead and do this just quickly. Add you to, let's see, hold on. And God bless you. Welcome. I hope everything works out well with you. We got some terms and conditions. We do not allow disturbances, not with the business, not with people's lives, not with anything that's unprofessional. We have a very professional, well, we like some tunes. It's not that no one would have any fun. Everyone has a good time. But what would we say? I think it's time for some high stakes now, guys. What do you guys think? High stakes? Yeah, I think it's high stakes. Let's go ahead and go high stakes. Doge just joined for... there we go. Put some high stakes music on. So you'll be getting the exclusive, like, you know, pricing targets. You'll be getting all that good stuff, okay? And we'll talk about investments, etc. Look like a cool dude, huh? Delvio Rodriguez, hombre. What's up? I lived in Spain for a while. Not sure if you picked up Josh. Doge looks good. Hello, peeps. What's up, RG? Is that RG from Twitter? You from Twitter? I don't know. I think I know an RG from Twitter. Where are you from? RG, are you from Twitter, or where are you from? I do not know the answer to that question. We've been handling some good trades throughout the day so that you guys know. Oh, Chris, I didn't go over this with you. We nailed the AMC. We nailed it, bro. We nailed that first level fib, like just smoked it. Let me go back to Doge on that left one. We'll replace this BTC with AMC. It was just nice because, you know, a lot of people are listening to a lot of different stations on, I mean, everyone's listening to different stations on AMC and all this stuff, and people talk about short squeezes and everything else. We just nailed this. I know people, buddies of mine, that got involved in, and this was a fallout. It was a pretty big fallout, right? It was a big fallout. So to hit this and to achieve, it was the base. This was the pivot that it tried to establish. To hit this was a big deal with Joseph and some other people that, you know, they know what we do, but they hadn't paid that much attention. Then he's like, well, crap, you know, you hit it perfectly on. I'm like, that's what we do every day, brother. Like, you know, red laser scope, you know, sniper action, just bam. So, yeah, it was a good hit. It went for about 10%, not much, but it was enough to prove to people that, like, okay, if you wanted to do options, if you wanted to do, yeah, I mean, it's all there. The level of precision is just and it's nice on AMC, because you would think, people would think, AMC is not that predictable. Man, you give me a price chart, and give me some volatility. Give me some price action with a price chart. We'll see what goes on. It's good. It's on, guys. It's the convention of the market, right? Yeah, and no, Delvey, you'll get VIP updates ASAP, like already, and stuff. You won't have to worry or work extra. You know, you're not gonna. You know, you just knew you're not gonna get them. And no, don't worry about it. Yeah, you're gonna get all the good stuff. Don't worry about it. That's exciting. So I have followed you. That's an excellent move you made. You're gonna learn a lot. And just right now, you have a month, huh? I'd say you have a month to give yourself the that opportunity to get in and learn. we have everything from iBankers, investment bankers, to exchange employees, to very big car dealership companies, to let's start off. What was it? Regional VPs of major corporations, conglomerates, just different stuff. We have a good crowd. To rappers, to blue collar workers, to engineers and scientific kind of people, to Army, Army, Ranger, Air Force, and military, Navy, Marines, whatever you want to talk about, which branch. I don't think we have any Coast Guard. Just so we know, I don't think we do. But yeah, some of those fall under the same branch. Irrespective of how much you would want to delineate them, they're actually under the same branch of service. So, yeah, we're very military friendly. A lot of us have military in the background, families, etc. So, yeah, we try and stay reasonable like that. So that was a nice hit, huh? On AMC, beautiful. I was so glad it hit. I'm like, yes, because I had done a short video on it. Make sure you guys turn on notifications, and Rodriguez and everyone else on Twitter, turn on notifications. When you get a notification from me, hit like so I know you're plugged in. Otherwise, I don't know that you got the pricing target. I may say, hey, we have a pricing target in the main DM. I need to see you say, bam, here's, okay, fine. You hit that like or that heart. Hit that. It's kind of like a check-in. I know that you are going to the DM and you got it in there, okay? So, and in terms of the enterprise security, we have enterprise security. I know what's going on in those DMs. Whoever sees anything, I get the full log list of everyone who sees my pricing charts. Believe it or not, I get a log list of whoever in those DMs sees my information, even sees it, right? So we love Twitter. It's a great enterprise level of security. Pretty stout stuff, huh? Yeah. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Oh, okay, you're new here. I've got another friend, RG, in the... What do we got? We have RG friend in the Twitter. So, yeah, we trade here. We're heavy traders. That's what we do. We enjoy it. We're always focused on pricing targets. Day in and day out, we focus on pricing targets. That means it's the level at which we want to enter into a trade. If you didn't want to trade at all or buy or sell at all in Doge, you could have put, $100 in. It turned into $10,000. Then the $10,000 is going to turn into, like $4,000 or less, right? That's tough. It's going to turn into about 4,000, a little less, maybe 3,700. So that's a big deal. So we like to make sure we can sell high. The requirements of profit are buy low, sell high. You have to do it in that order unless you're dealing with options. If you're dealing with options, you can do that out of order. You can deliver later on. So those are just those are the fundamentals of profit, that you sell high at some point. With as much volatility as is there, Delvey, I'm going to be able to give you those VIP perks. Right now the perk is go into the room, and why don't you get to know some people in the Twitter room? Why don't you go ahead and do that access? Huh? Why don't you maybe read through some of the posts and some of those charts and stuff, and then you'll have those, you won't have to wait on the VIP perks. You can just go on into that room. I added you into there, right? So go ahead on in there. You have that access. Go ahead on in there, right? Did you update that profile picture? I don't see that update profile picture. Well, we want to see a picture. But yeah, get into that. I added you into that list. So go ahead on in there. That's the key feature, and go just see what you got in there. Yeah, you just been added to that deal. So you got all kinds of charts already in there, all kinds of good stuff. And yeah, we had a trade today for Keep. It was about a 20% trade in a real down day. That was nice. That was important. That was a good move. So, yeah, those are the types of things. And, again, you have don't get real anxious. I'll just tell you that. If you get real anxious and everything else like that, if you're an anxious person and you want everything to change overnight and miraculously change your life and get rich overnight, We're just not like that. We have a real smooth like tone and demeanor to us. We kind of understand the approach that we like trading, and we're going to be doing it for a long time. So there's a lot to learn, and you're not going to learn it all overnight, but we have some really good things to plug into. So welcome. It's nice to have you. Without a doubt, it's nice to have you. Anyone else who's thinking about that, he made the right move. He will be happy. We're going to expose him to some technology. He's going to be blown away. You won't even know what to think about things. You literally won't even know what to think about things. We're going to go through some stuff. You're going to be like, what? Yeah, it's going to be some cool stuff. You won't believe you're going to be capable or able to do it. But you will be. It'll be really cool stuff. You will like it. And let's see what else we have. In terms of the charts, I went through Cardano. Went through that heavily. Went through BNB. Went through just, Bitcoin. Went through Doge is holding. It's fine. I like the fact that it's at the price it's at. It's a nice pickup. If it'll get down lower, it'll be more of a heavier cash pickup for me and my crew. Made a lot of cash on Doge already. A lot of people have. So that's a good thing. Let's see what we have on. Let me see if we got any kind of cool. Let's see. Put a little music on. Always focus on pricing targets. That's just it. It's not what you want to invest in. It's at what price. Like we deploy like cash on call all the time at different levels. That's how we enter into it, a level of support. Market maker takes it up, delivers us at a higher level essentially, and we cut loose. This was a clear cut loose, right? Yeah, clear cut loose. So let's see what we got. Rodriguez, you have people welcoming you in the Twitter room right now. Looks like you're over there. Good job. Welcome to the VIP section. Back room. Go ahead and look for the charts back there. There are plenty of them with price targets. Uploads from today. So this was another tolerance issue. We reached tolerance here. I mean, there was a clear expression of a indicated maximum. A threshold was reached. We reached it, and thereafter we've just kind of been in, does it want to conquer it? The probabilities are against it being conquered, right? The probabilities are in favor of a negative expression of price. This is going to typically want to fall down and out. Look at the daily on it. It's a little bit different of an idea. It's not as angular as people want to make it on the daily. It's just a consolidation. I don't even like to triangulate it or really channel it. I'm not into, to the extent that channels frustrate the whole process, and some of this just may be my fault, because I didn't necessarily discuss this. But if we always go with channels, you're going to get disappointed, right? It's not all about measured moves are different. If something has a long-term trajectory of a measured move, that's fine. But as we talk about like a channel, right, this is a verifiable level of resistance and support with measured moves in the midst. Well, that's one that would have broken, right? If you understand wave theory is going to lean in the direction of not just a temporary channel, but of a wave, okay? Kind of like a sine wave, a real expression of, something with amplitude in the entirety has amplitude, right? And a periodic nature in terms of the actual the actual expression of the time in between the troughs, right? With the peaks as well, but it's measured in terms of the amplitude down to the period, which is the bottom of essentially the trough area. Okay, it's measured in between the periods. That's how you measure essentially a wave. So on the aggregate. So what we have is the expression negatively of price for Bitcoin. We're expecting that's going to hopefully achieve the golden pocket. If it doesn't now, I'm going to expect it in the future, and I'd rather hit it now. And then we know in the future, well, of course, we got to get down there a golden pocket. At least it's something reliable that we can count on, right? In the past, in 2018 and 19, Bitcoin's gone a lot lower than its golden pocket, huh? This didn't even really, it started the retracement, but it hadn't gotten there yet, right? So yeah, the channels seem to fail. It's doing that, but when you look at a channel, expression of price as a channel, you know, it's not necessarily the most educated. It's nice because it gives some conformance to what you're looking at, and it gives kind of the newer investors, maybe it does give the newer investors something to rely on or something to understand in terms of a pattern formation. The problem, however, is that it's going to break down, and they won't know what to do with the breakdown or what it really means unless you go through wave theory. If you go through wave theory, then you can understand, oh, clearly I see. So this is like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, like the Elliott wave. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what happened here. Oh, I see. So it's not really about the channel. It's about wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Okay, then we're going to have A, B, C, maybe D, E. I gotcha. Okay, now I understand on a wave basis. What am I looking at? An aggregated wave, right? So that's nice, right? That's important to understand the formation of this wave. It looks like a wave, doesn't it? Yeah, it literally looks like one. It's wave theory. All this information of people talking about Wyckoff patterns. Oh my gosh, Wyckoff probably stole all of his information from Merrill back in like the 20s or whenever he studied. He's not a big player. He's okay, but don't find your stuff on Google. Whatever you do, don't do your TA on Google. We will know if you're doing it on Google, which is okay, but we'll definitely know, huh? Let's see. So yeah, Rodriguez did well. RG, you gonna join up with us? What do you got? Anybody else out there want to ask questions about if you guys want to join up? I just read Mr. T's comment. I thought Mr. T, I thought you said, I just joined VIP. I'd be like, heck yeah, that'd be cool. Like, you'd have fun, huh? We may need a commodities section. Mr. T is in charge of bullion and commodities. That can happen. Absolutely. That'd be nice. Bullion and commodities. Like commodities, raw goods and commodities. Both perishable and durable. The man is in charge globally of all the commodities trade. Very nice. We do have Garland with 15 years of experience in futures. Pretty heavy stuff, huh? Cool. Very cool. So, what else we got? So nice to see additional members of Right Jason in the house. Good. Joyride in the house. Daryl Hall doing well. Chris is in the house. Had an idea on a new strategy as well, combining short-term profits on long-term holds with compounding interest. Want to get your thoughts? I'll DM you offline. Thank you. Appreciate that, Chris. I'm thinking we see some big news driving around ADA around the August timeframe when these new layered solutions are released. FOMO will kick in shortly after. I like that, thinking out to August, huh? Yeah, so we schedule up accumulations until then. Beautifully done. Well done. Release of the first smart contract devs. ADA with some fantastic fundamentals backing. Coming in like, yeah, ADA, it is. It really is, he knows. Very interesting movement on BTC shorts. Similar price action to a move made in May where we saw a big correction. Yeah. Nice. Good insight. Why gold right now? Don't know what that means. Pregunta, senor. What does that mean? Why gold right now? Oh. Now? Well, you got to ask T, huh? You got to ask Mr. T. Mr. T talked to you all about gold, huh? It's a, what would that be? A diversification, right? It's nice to wear sometimes. People say, well, the utility. I'm like, well, it's nice to wear. Huh? Granted, you have to dig up mountains. I'm not real big about digging up mountains. Huh? Winds up in the water sometimes too, though. This looks so much more unimpressive, doesn't it? This formation on the daily. You can almost kill the entirety of the chart pattern when you look at the daily. It's not even interesting, is it? Bitcoin on the daily, it's like, It's like it's almost just waiting to be compromised and to fall out. Yeah. Possible, huh? The date is getting there, huh? The 12th, huh? 12th is an interesting date, isn't it? I think it's an interesting date for a few reasons. That 12th, I've discussed that with a few people, haven't I? Jeremy, if you're in the house, what's up, Jeremy? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get back over because we have some stuff to set up for any new VIPs. If you guys are looking to join tonight or tomorrow or whenever, we'll be back hopefully around prime time. Prime time tomorrow. We'll get everything done. I just appreciate you guys tuning in, and hit the like button if you haven't. It'd be nice. We'll do some work mañana. But I got to make sure I'm getting all the price targets together for everybody, and that our new VIP has them Delvey. But you can dig through that main group there, and you'll see the pricing targets. I'll also get them for you, but I want that profile pic updated. And, we're going for 400 total traders. We'll get there. We got 100 in the first month, so we'll get 400. It'll be good. People who want to beat the market. You want to beat the market? You can't tell me you don't have $99 a month. And some of that, by the way, goes to YouTube, etc. A good portion of that goes to YouTube. So we're happy to partner up with them. It's great. We hope they're blessed and doing well. Carlos, I appreciate that, brother. Nice to see you pop out there. You're listening now. You're learning. Some of this stuff's good, huh? Some of it is, huh? You have to admit, like strategically, some of it's good. Some of the information like ADA and stuff, yeah, it's not bad, huh? Yeah, it's some good insight. So I know you have a lot of insight too, and you're doing very well. So it's nice to see you, Carlos. So this is London with the Crypto Kingdom. We'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to say in the market, I'm going to say, you see the red? Yeah, well, it might just be, I don't know, ballistically like the other direction, huh? That's what everyone's saying. Yeah, everyone's saying it's just going to go green. So I guess everyone should just throw all their money into it now, right? That's what everyone's saying. It's going to go ballistically, right? Through the roof, huh? We might as well just throw all our money into it. Huh? Or I have an idea. Why don't we preserve our backup cash? And if you want to tread lightly, you tread lightly, right? Just kind of pepper it in a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Because technically, fundamentally, the price is going to want to drop. It's going to want to retrace. I'm going to stick with the golden pocket. My money's going to be on the golden pocket. At least, if not lower on the 786. I like putting my money on the golden pocket. It's kind of nice. It's kind of classy thing to do, huh? Yeah. Ape Diamond Rocket. There you go. Why not? We hit that. Yeah, we did hit that AMC, huh? We nailed that target today. What's up? So you guys, you did a good job. You had a few trades today. And we'll get the cavalry out tomorrow, and we'll have a good stream, and we'll do some good stuff. You guys show up in that chat in the morning and shout out to each other. Let's figure out the trades we're all doing tomorrow. I'll get you the pricing targets so we can be on with those like we were today with AMC, etc. Good trades on AMC. Good job, guys. Way to trade. Congrats. And, that's it. We'll deal with the rest tomorrow, and I'll say good evening one more time. This is London with the Crypto Kingdom. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right?
We're going to go over what is called a Fibonacci. It is a
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high.
I come and go like a rah. They don't want the two be going on. I'm coming back with the money in the bag. The rubies in my lap, yeah, I'm running for the cash. I come and go like a rah. trapping on the low, lurking in the mole like I'm running from the pole. Yeah. Remember when we did it for life? Was noticing all these frames got me trimming a knife. Always on some new thing like riding the bike. Let's do things in one setting, but I don't feel like selling for the time being. When I was young, I used to dream about the palm trees. After the summer achievements, I got a long sleeve. Supposedly, think about it. In reality, you running out of options. Starting to see the coffin with the Bible preach. I'm way ahead on a private beach. My hair bleached on the cover of a magazine. I got the flavor doing push-ups on the coca bean. Doing all the things you can't imagine what it might be. All these women trying to write me. I get the message now, I know they wanna wife me. And I didn't mention all the bruises, I just went through all the heat. I broke through all the edges like a right cheek. Yeah, I come and go like a round. They don't want the two be going nah. I'm coming back with the money in the bag. The rubies in my lap, yeah, I'm running with the cash. I'm coming go like a round. Putting in the work like I'm way behind. Still trapping on the low, lurking in the mole like I'm running from the pole. Yeah, I cooked it up cause I'm a hero in my own town. Whoa, we just running on our own now. Whoa, all these digits on my phone now. Working through the late night, that's just how it goes down. Oh wow, put in work, I guess we work it out. Almost summer and the money almost running out. All this running up and down, it's getting funny now. I do it for myself and all you ever did was run your mouth. Yeah, we at the spot, they be stunning now. They don't see the bigger picture, we be cutting now. All I'm saying is the man that I'm becoming. He gon' take the new edition and they twist it like a plumber now. Yeah, I'm out here watching all these phony ones. Yeah, and they be thinking about my own runs. Oh, how they gon' catch me when I'm all around. Oh, I can't see why I didn't call it out. I come and go like a round. They don't want the two be going nah. I'm coming back with the money in the bag. The rubies in my lap, yeah, I'm running with the cash. I'm coming go like a round.